quite a bit, haven't they? Where Lanky is at the minute.
Yeah, and it's right up against the party stand, and that gives you that home advantage because you've got the extra fielder of the party stand coming into the second half when Yorkshire have the ball in their hand. Any mistakes, they'll be on them straight away.
It's Lancashire's version of the Western Terrace, that, isn't it, really?
Absolutely, yeah.
They've built their own Western Terrace for this game. It's called the Party Stand, which is open for business tonight.
And you often find when they go to Headingley, Yorkshire put them into bat because they know how difficult it is to field second with how leery the crowd gets. So Johnny's won the toss, he's decided to bat. That's not a factor he's scared of. And he's facing up to Luke Wood with the first ball.
Here we go, then it's Wood. He's got a habit of wickets with the first ball. Oh, that swings in. There's a big thick inside edge as well. With Bairstow on strike. Blimey, he can get these balls to swing, can't he, Luke Wood? Again, that tail back in there to Bairstow. I reckon he's got quite a thick inside edge on that.
Absolutely. It was pitching sixth stump line and comes in towards the stump. So Bairstow's had a big swipe at that and got a thick inside edge. Could have easily jumped back onto the stumps there.
It's not a wicket with the first ball. We had that on Saturday here. The 2 wickets in 2 balls on Saturday. Here's Wood, left arm over, balls again, swings away, hammered away, 4 runs out towards the point boundary. And Yorkshire are up and running, clattered by Bairstow through point.
Well, there was limited swing there from Luke Wood. He won't mind that though. He's bowled that full, it's wide, and Johnny Bairstow has put his hands through that, through the covers, and it races along the boundary for 4. There's a lot of confidence and swagger from both players. You can see it's a battle between Wood and Bairstow. It's 1-1. I think it's going to be a point every delivery here, Scott.
I think it is. Here's Wood again, tearing in, balls to Bairstow. And that's chopped away through the offside. There's a diving attempt to stop it by Keaton Jennings at cover point, and Bairstow comes back for 2. They've gone with their 2 big hitters. I mean, they're always opening the batting, Bairstow and Malan, but there's also that sense of, well, you're going to start with your best 2, and we're going to start with our best 2. It's kind of a little bit kind of head-to-head, that, isn't it? Bairstow and Malan, it'll be Wood and Jimmy, I would have thought, from the other end.
Absolutely. It does feel like Yorkshire exposes all the big cards early, but if it pulls off, then it's a good game of cards.
Here's Wood, back into Bairstow. That, he's worked out towards the onside, picked up by Luke Wells at mid-wicket, and there is no run.
You can see how much swing there is early doors here from Luke Wood. He pitches that on middle and it tails into leg stump. Bairstow just works that through to mid-wicket for no run, but the amount of shape he gets on the ball early doors, and he bowls it quick, full. It's a threatening line that he does get early doors, Wood.
It's terrifying, isn't it? Well, it is for me. It was mere mortals that couldn't possibly begin to face this. Here's Wood in, balls again. That's run away down towards short third by Bairstow. He's got a bit of bounce there too, hasn't he? Oh, throw comes in. They'll run a second. The throw coming in from that kind of short third man position by Tom Hartley. They actually hit the stumps as he threw, and it deflects away, and they're allowed to come back for 2 more. So a bonus, sorry, for 1 more, a bonus run there for Yorkshire.
Well, I don't mind that from Tom Hartley. David Malan was very casual on the single, and he's just saying, you know, you've got to run your singles hard here, but it did mean it went for an overthrow. It's a direct hit, but it made him scuttle for the last couple of yards.
8 without loss. Wood back in to Bairstow, and that's off the pads, deflecting down towards short fine leg. So there'll be no run. The leg by is being signalled. We've got umpires Goff and White out there officiating tonight in their bright pink tops and black trousers and black caps. It's a gorgeous evening, live on BBC Radio Lancashire. I've got listeners across Sports Extra 2 as well, and on the BBC Sport website and app for this Roses fixture between Lancashire and Yorkshire.
Emirates Old Trafford is filling up as well. There's a lot in tonight. I think they'd sold over 17,000 tickets, so the atmosphere is starting, but we can see it's almost a full house here at Emirates Old Trafford. I think they could go crazy here as James Anderson comes on from the James Anderson end. Huge cheers around Emirates Old Trafford.
Well, it's been over a decade since he last played in the Roses T20 fixture.
They're already singing, "Oh, Jimmy, Jimmy." He's not bowled a ball yet. The crowd are here tonight, that's for sure.
Bairstow's on strike. Here is Anderson in and bowling to Bairstow, driven into the offside. And there's no run. I reckon somewhere on your match day ticket tonight, it says terms and conditions, James Anderson will play.
Absolutely, you will. This is basically international cricket. Johnny Bairstow will open the batting. James Anderson will open the bowling.
Yep. The prospect of them not picking Jimmy tonight was never, ever, ever even entertained. It was the first name scheduled on the team sheet. 9 without loss in the second over. Anderson back in, bowls again to Bairstow, just pushes the ball away into the offside. And dances his way through for a single and says hello to James on his way. As Jimmy says something back. It's good fun. 10 on the board for Yorkshire, batting first, 10 without loss. Has Malan faced a ball yet?
Not yet, no. This will be the first ball Malan faces, and it'll be his old teammate James Anderson that he'll be facing up to.
Keaton Jennings has gone for 2 slips, a gully. No, he hasn't. He's gone for 1 slip. Short third man, short fine leg, mid-wicket, mid-on, mid-off, cover. There's a deep backward point and a deep backward square leg. So Yorkshire 10 without loss. And it's James Anderson for Lancashire in and balls to Malan. That's just squeezed down towards third man. And Phil Salt comes round to field, and a single for Malan from his first deliveries faced. Yorkshire 11 without loss, batting first on this beautifully warm, hot evening. A big night for Manchester, isn't it, with the concert and the Roses Derby. And
yeah, Oasis playing in Heaton Park, aren't they? So it's the big night for sport and music in Manchester.
Here is Anderson to Bairstow, in and balls. He's down the pitch. He's trying to swat it out towards the party stand. In the end, it deflects back down towards Anderson, who gives him a right old filthy look. And there's no run.
Well, everyone's enjoying this. Anderson follows him as he goes charging down the pitch, but he doesn't allow Bairstow to have any width or arms on that. And as it follows him, it hits him in quite an uncomfortable position. He looks like he's in a little bit of pain as he's on one knee.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah. It's called him a midships. Just taking a moment is Johnny Bairstow.
I think, yeah, that's shook him up a little bit there, Johnny.
He is all shook up, is Johnny. He's having a breather. Oh, he's still not quite ready, is he? David Malan's come down to have a word. Yes, it struck him well, I'd say a glancing blow, but he wasn't, was it? He was full on. 11 without loss. Here's Bairstow now, ready to get going again. Anderson comes in and bowls. It's in the air. Oh, 6. That's a terrific shot. Down towards the fine leg boundary. Bairstow swatting Anderson away for 6, and Yorkshire push their score on to 17 without loss.
Well, very similar delivery there by James Anderson, but this time Bairstow stays stationary and just a flick of the wrists into the crowds. Fantastic shot there and quick hands from Johnny Bairstow. And you can see he's pumped this evening.
15 not out. Anderson into Bairstow. Just flicked away off his hip. Ashton Turner will catch up with the ball. Bairstow's got through. Oh, there's no bat on that. Just deflected off his thigh pad, maybe. So it's a leg bye. It's the end of Anderson's first over of the evening. So that's 2 overs gone, and Yorkshire batting first, 18 without loss.
And he starves Malan from the strike once again. So it'll be Johnny to face up another over from Luke Wood. He's almost talking to everyone on the pitch here. Little word with this person, little chat with that person. He's played cricket with too many players on this pitch. There's too many international caps out there.
Yes, there are lots of international players on show tonight. So Wood from the Brian Statham end sets off for over number 2 for him. Bairstow swats it leg side. It's in the air. 1 bounce and over the rope out towards the hotel, the second of the 2 hotels here 4 runs for Bairstow, and he moves on to 19, and it's 22 without loss now.
Well, he picks up that length really nicely there by Luke Wood. Stays stationary again, but Luke Wood just misses his line. He's quite straight on that, so it gives Bairstow the freedom to play through, swats it quite hard and flat, and with that comes a change of field. So they've lost their mid-wicket, and mid-wicket is now deep on the boundary. Still a straight line though, still stump line.
Here's Wood, ball straight, and it's swatted out towards the leg side to one of those 2 fielders. Chris Green out there. So single for Bear. There's a bit of chat out there, isn't there? Single for Bairstow. Has a quiet word with Luke Wood as well on his way back to his mark. 23 without loss in the 3rd. Bairstow moves on to 20 not out.
Well, he's quite a fiery character, is Johnny Bairstow. And when he's in these sorts of moods, you need to get him out ASAP. And hopefully the chitter-chatter on the pitch does put him up off, but often we've seen at international level, when he's fired up, that's when he's at his best. When you see those Johnny eyes where they glaze over and look super focused.
Yeah, dangerous times. There's Wood, balls again. Oh, that's a beauty, he's nicked it behind. Wood peels away in celebration, up goes the finger. Malan departs. It's an absolute beauty from Luke Wood. 23 for 1 in the 3rd. Wood gets a perler. Malan's gone for 1.
What a fantastic delivery by Luke Wood there. Dawid Malan starved of strike. Second ball he's faced today, and it's an absolute jaffer from Luke Wood. Angles in, moves away, takes a thin shave of the outside edge. And Malan departs for 1. A fantastic piece of bowling from Luke Wood, and the persistence to stay full, to keep swinging the ball is fantastic. He's pumped with that one.
Yeah, just on that, Phoebe, as a bowler, I mean, that, as you mentioned, that bravery, or obviously he backs himself, clearly he does, but to keep pushing full, to keep at that length in the power play against 2 batters who are trying to get at you, how challenging can that be?
It's so important to keep your length, to keep pushing the ball full at the stumps, and particularly with the swing and the movement that Luke Wood gets. And it's having that acceptance that you will get hit for some boundaries, that the ball will hit the ropes every now and again, but for you to be the most effective and to take the most wickets, you've got to be brave and keep the ball up there, and that's something that Luke Wood is exceptional at. And I think if he goes at 10s, he's quite willing to accept that, as long as he's been threatening those stumps and shaping the ball, which he has done already tonight.
23 for 1, Yorkshire. Wood in bowls, swings in towards Will Luxton, who drives firmly, but to James Anderson at mid-off. There is no run, so the first wicket of the evening. It really was a beauty from Wood, dismissing Malan. Little nick behind to Butler. Malan going for 1. As you say, Phoebe, not seen much of the strike neither, so just trying to get himself going. That's only his 2nd ball we've faced all night. It's Bairstow that's dominated the batting so far. Wood turns and comes in again. 23 for 1. Balls to Luxton, back of a length, wallops it in the air, leg side and over the fielder Jack Blatherwick, deep backwards square leg, and Will Luxton carts it out towards the boundary for 6.
Well, that just kept going and going. It got big on Will Luxton, and he was able to shovel that round, but he thought he was in trouble for a minute. But luckily, the ball kept going in his favour over the ropes. He just dug that in that little bit shorter, did Luke Wood. Didn't quite get up to headline, to bumper height, and it gave Luxton the freedom to be able to put his hands through that.
Forced another change. Got 2 fielders again on that leg side boundary. Wood in and balls. Oh, he's got a little bit of something on that, maybe a glove or maybe a bit of bat. Either way, it's just sneaked beyond the reach of Butler, and it's gone past Ashton Turner at short fine leg. It's gone for 4 more, and well, therein lies a T20 over for you, with an absolute jaffer from Wood to get rid of Malan. And then the very next 2 deliveries, one's walloped out towards the leg side for 6, and one comes off a little lucky inside edge down to the boundary for 4.
Well, I think for Luke Wood there, he'll be disappointed in that. That was a drag down the leg side that Will Luxton was able just to help himself to, and just tickle that round the corner down for 4, but as a young emerging player for Yorkshire, 22, Luke Wood needs to be threatening the stumps early doors for him and putting him under the pressure that is, you can feel here tonight. You can feel the atmosphere at Emirates Old Trafford, and without putting those stumps in play and swinging the ball, Luke Wood made that really easy, those 2 deliveries to Luxton.
It's going to be Jimmy Anderson to continue. So this is his second over, 33 for 1 in the, well, after 3. So we're in this initial block of power play overs. First 6 are power play overs, fielding restrictions in place. Anderson in bowls to Bairstow, steps the leg side, tries to find a gap on that leg side. In the end, it's inside edge back onto his pad, and it balloons away into the offside for a single. Bairstow moves to 21, 34 for 1.
That's well bowled there by James Anderson. He's just followed Johnny Bairstow, who's given himself some width outside the leg stump so that he can sort of access that leg side, but Anderson's seen him early, he's followed him and come out on top.
Anderson to Luxton this time, in and balls in the air but beyond the reach of Green, who's at short mid-wicket. Luxton goes through for a single. He moves on to 11, 35 for 1.
It's definitely a different tack between these 2 players, how they're playing the bowlers. Luxton has put away the bad ball but respected the good ball, whereas Johnny Bairstow's moving round the crease. He's been most effective when he's been stationary, but he's trying to put him off his line and length here and move round the crease.
35 for 1. Here's Anderson over the wicket, balls again. Oh, that's a gorgeous shot by Bairstow. Wow! Out towards the long on boundary and all the way for 6. Outrageous shot from Bairstow off Anderson for 6.
Well, that's an incredible shot there from Johnny Anderson, Johnny Bairstow. He's just stood still, put his arms through that, and it's gone straight down the ground. Wonderful strike of the ball.
It's a terrific hit from Bairstow.
You can see once again here, his stationary is Johnny in that strike. Where he's been striking the ball effectively, he has been so stationary and kept a real stable base.
Anderson to Bairstow, clipped away through the leg side, out towards the party stand at deep mid-wicket for a single. 42 for 1. We're welcoming listeners across BBC Radio Manchester as well to Emirates Old Trafford for this Roses fixture, where Lancashire Lightning have picked up 1 wicket so far, and it was an absolute beauty of a delivery from Luke Wood. And David Malan nicking behind to Butler, who took the catch. Bairstow's unbeaten on 28. Will Luxton on 11. We've got James Anderson bowling for Lancashire into Luxton, who swings and gets a little inside edge that squirts down towards the keeper, or maybe deflected off his thigh pad perhaps. Either way, it's not exactly where he was aiming for it. Well, a bit of bottom edge, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a fantastic ball from James Anderson, and I think without snooker cueing that into the ground, it'd have taken the top of off stump. So fortunate there was Luxton, who's 11 from 5, but you can feel he's feeling the pressure a lot more.
Anderson for Lancashire in and balls clipped away out towards mid-wicket without, again, that's a gorgeous shot. That really is such a lovely shot by Will Luxton to find the boundary, kind of straight mid-wicket in front of the point, and 4 to end the over.
Yeah, that looked effortless from Will Luxton. He just stepped out into the leg side and then flick of the wrist down the ground, 1 bounce, 4. Lovely timing of the ball. And a real different approach to that boundary. Was just a classy cricket shot rather than a big swing of the bat that we've been seeing from Bairstow at the other end.
So it's 46 for 1, 4 overs gone. First bowling change of the night. So Luke Wood's bowled 2 overs from the Brian Statham end. He's replaced. And some spin, left arm spin of Tom Hartley. So change of pace for the first time this evening. 46 for 1. Bairstow's on strike. Yorkshire batting first. And we've had 4 overs of the 20 that Yorkshire have got to bat here to set Lancashire a target for victory. Hartley's left arm spin, and he's twirling into Bairstow, and that's muscled out towards the leg side for 6. Looks like Bairstow's in the mood tonight, Phoebe Graham. 52 for 1, Yorkshire.
Well, he is indeed. A drag down from Tom Hartley and punished by Bairstow. Very dismissive. Just slaps that over the ropes for 6 runs. This is why he's played international cricket, is because he loves this sort of crowd and this sort of pressure. And Tom Hartley can't be missing his length like that to a Johnny Bairstow in this sort of, on this sort of occasion.
34 from 17, Bairstow. Hartley in and bowls. He steps to the leg side, gets an inside edge past the stumps, past Butler, and he goes through for 1. The throw comes in from short fine leg with a hand of apology from Luke Wells, because he threw it towards the stumps, the end that Bairstow was running at, and he actually hit Bairstow on the back of the leg, but all unintentional, of course. Little acknowledgement of apology from Wells brings Luxton back on strike. Hartley in bowls. He's worked away through the leg side. Blatherwick's got quite a bit of ground to operate in tonight, fielding in the sunshine, out on the biggest boundary. But he's as good a fielder that Lancashire have. He's outstanding in the field, Blatherwick. But a pretty tough task for him tonight out there. Going to get a bit of help, actually. Oh, no, they're going to swap fielders. They're going to bring Blatherwick inside the circle at square leg, and they push Green out towards the deep mid-wicket boundary.
They're thinking Bairstow's probably not likely to conventionally sweep here.
Goes back. No, he doesn't do that. He carts it up towards the boundary at backward point. He'll come back for 2. Swinging hard, Bairstow. Moves to 36 not out. Yorkshire 56 for 1 in the 5th.
I think one thing we're seeing here is how aware Lancashire are of the boundary sizes and cutting off those singles, cutting off those 3s, but also Yorkshire aren't running particularly hard, and that's something you have to do here at Emirates Old Trafford with the big boundaries to take advantage of the pitch size. That's
driven firmly by Bairstow, but to mid-off where Luke Wood fields, and there is no run.
So the 2 fielders out here, they've got a deep mid-wicket, very straight, and a long on.
And it's Hartley for Lancashire, in and balls to Bairstow. Oh my word, up and over extra cover, 6 more. Bairstow is going to be a huge issue here for Lancashire Lightning. The Yorkies are flying in the power play. 5 overs gone. Bairstow's just walloped another 6 over extra cover. He moves to 42, not out. And Yorkshire at the end of that over are 62 for 1. This is an outstanding power play for Yorkshire so far.
That's a wonderful shot again by Bairstow. He's stepped in front, stepped behind, stepped in front again, and then just used his sheer power to hit that up and over extra cover for 6. He's certainly taking advantage of the power play, and Lancashire sort of rubbing their hands on the head, thinking what can they do here to prevent any more damage in the power play, and they go back to Luke Wood to try and get that wicket.
Here he is, Wood, left arm over, bowls to Luxton. That's nudged away off his hip out towards the leg side for a single. The fact they've gone back to Wood, I think that tells the story, doesn't it? That they need a wicket here.
Absolutely, and they're thinking Wood is most effective in this period. The ball might have lost its shape and swing, but if anyone's going to get Bairstow in this form, it's going to be Wood.
He's on strike, so we'll see Wood to Bairstow. 42 not out from 21 balls faced for Johnny Bairstow. 63 for 1 Yorkshire. Here's Wood in bowls to Bairstow. Slashed away down towards the fine leg boundary. Bouncing over the rope for 4 runs. Well, he's swinging hard tonight, isn't he, Bairstow? He's in the mood tonight, is the Yorkshire man.
He is indeed, and it's not a great ball by Luke Wood. He's bowled it on leg stump line, and with that ball shaping into Bairstow, that's only going to keep going, so he just helps himself to those runs, does Johnny Bairstow. And that's the challenge with the left arm round the wicket, is when the ball stops swinging, you've got to straighten your line, but if you go too straight, then batters can help themselves to that boundary.
67 for 1. Here's Wood to Bairstow. Drives it straight back down the pitch, gathered by Wood off his own bowling. Good reactions from Wood down neatly away to his right-hand side to stop the ball. So a dot ball, a rare dot ball. There's not been many dot balls.
Yeah, it was almost a catching opportunity as well for Woody. Caught it on the bounce, and he went for that Yorker, but Bairstow kept it out.
And towards the back end of the power play, where the fielding restrictions are in place, so just 2 fielders allowed beyond the fielding circle, out towards the boundaries, catching in those catching positions. Lancashire can't wait to get through this power play. Here's Wood in, balls again to Bairstow. Oh, he's top-edged it over the keeper. Over Butler's head, down towards the boundary for 4 more. And brings up the 50 partnership, 50 rather for Bairstow, isn't it? Yeah, that 4 takes him to 50 not out. Off just 24 deliveries faced, 71 for 1. Maybe his luck's in tonight. He's swinging hard, he's top-edging it, and he's getting 4 for it.
Well, it's been quite the knock from Johnny Bairstow. It's been exciting to watch. 50 off 24 deliveries. That bumper there, he just got a top edge, but the fact that he's going at the ball so hard, he was able to get that up and over Joss Butler to bring up his 50.
Wood in, balls to Bairstow, pulls it behind square, leg side. He might get 4 more. That's good work by Salt, restricting Yorkshire to just the single. Probably think he's got a hold of that well enough, Bairstow, to get 4, but Salt's quick around the ground, or across the ground, so just the 1 to Bairstow. He's 51 not out from 25 balls faced.
He's an occasion player, is Johnny Bairstow, and these are the occasions that he plays for now, with him not making the England team at the moment. He's thinking, if I'm not at Lord's, I might as well make sure I turn out at Emirates Old Trafford tonight.
Yep, he's having a day out in Manchester so far, is Bairstow. Lancashire could do with getting rid of him pretty quickly. Here's Wood in, balls to Luxton, and that goes through to the keeper, and there is no run. Goodness me, power play done. That's the first 6 overs. It means that Lancashire's captain can get some extra fielders outside the fielding circle, out towards the boundary, and just try and rein it in. But as power plays go, Phoebe Graham, for Yorkshire, 72 for 1 after 6 is pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's been Yorkshire's power play, really. There was the wicket of Dawid Malan, but that's not been enough to stop Johnny Bairstow on the rampage that he's been on. It's been exciting to watch. He's been moving around the crease, he's been talking to the players. There's been a lot of presence and energy from him out there, and it's paid off as he raised his bat in the 6th over for it, bringing up his 50. 72 for 1. And it'll be a huge wicket to get rid of Johnny Bairstow, and they need it ASAP.
They do. Another half an hour of Bairstow here, and this could unravel for Lancashire Lightning. It's been a very good start for Yorkshire. Here's Luke Wells into the attack bowling. That's cut away by Bairstow, and fielded just at backward point by Ashton Turner. And there's no run. So Hartley's been used for 1 over. Anderson's bowled 2 overs for 21. Wood's bowled 3 overs, 1 for 33. And now some Luke Wells from the Brian Statham men. He's bowling leg spin. He's in and bowling. That's chopped away by Bairstow out towards the cover boundary in front of the party stand, which is about... Well, it's not full, is it, the party stand? It's kind of at least 2/3 up, though.
Yeah, it's about 2/3 full is the party stand. And it looking round, nearly every other seat is taken in the stadium. So
it's good that it does.
Good attendance here tonight.
Will be the case as well next Thursday for the return fixture at Yorkshire. They're 2 brilliant games of cricket to watch. That comes back into to Luxton from Luke Wells, and off the back foot he plays it back towards the tall Lancashire bowler. Wells has got fielders out on the boundary. It's a deep backward square leg at deep mid wicket. There's a deep point, long off and long on as well. Wells in, balls off the back foot, cut away by Luxton through the offside for a single. He moves on to 18, 74 for 1.
You can see even just then both players really casually sauntering for that single, but at Emirates Old Trafford, the ground is so vast, you've got to push and look for 2s everywhere, and that'll be the big difference here between how Lancashire run between the wickets and Yorkshire.
In comes Wells, bowls, reverse sweep attempted by Bairstow. Seems to get himself all tangled up there. Butler takes the ball in his gloves and then kind of shapes to flick off the bails.
It's well bowled by Luke Wells. He just takes it that little bit wider as he sees Bairstow set up early for the reverse.
In again, balls once more. Oh, that's high, leg side, over the rope, and 6. 6 more to Bairstow. That's his 5th 6 of the evening for Johnny Bairstow, and it was going so well for Phoebe Graham for Luke Wells until the very final ball of the over, where Bairstow clobbers it for 6, and Yorkshire at 80 for 1, 7 overs gone. Some thoughts from you, Phoebe, then Kevin Howells will come and join.
Absolutely. So Johnny Bairstow has really taken down the attack here, and he's most effective when he's just stationary and swinging through the line of the ball. We've seen a lot of funky feet from him. He's tried to play the reverse and not quite executed. But Lancashire are in some trouble here unless they can stop Johnny Bairstow, who is in some absolute form tonight and hitting the ball hard out the ground.
Well, here's a fella who is, this is Chris Green about. Hello, by the way.
Hello, Kevin.
Here's a fella that's turning into quite the character, is Chris Green, because he can very easily take on pantomime villain as well, can Chris Green, with the crowd. Now, he's got the home support behind him tonight, but this is just the stage for Green to really lift the crowd, and as you say, he or somebody else needs to do quite quickly. With 7 overs gone and 80 for 1 on the board, he's going to bowl out to the shadow at the far end of the ground, and he's bowling to Luxton, who's on 18 at the moment. Oh, and a terrific delivery first. Up he goes. Doesn't actually lean back too much to give himself any width there, just plays out of the misses. With Butler stood up, of course. Wow, what a list of names we got on show tonight. Fantastic.
It's a blockbuster event, isn't it, here in Manchester?
Yeah. Next ball bowled, comes back into Luxton this time. He'll find a single, should I say, behind square on the offside. I was half expecting when the team was announced that at least N. Gallagher would be in at 11, realising that he was in the wrong part of town tonight, but wasn't to be.
It's a music and sporting night in Manchester.
It's quite the night and day to be in Manchester, isn't it? It really is. Green then just waits. He's got this, well, this is pretty unique, this approach of his. He's just in by a few yards. He's in the air, away on the onside, into that shadow. There's a fielder out there. Oh, it could have spun past him. Didn't quite. Comes back to his left-hand side. I think that might be Michael Jones out there, is it? Just swing. Maybe I could go for all the ones with 4 at the end. And maybe Luke Wood. It's Luke Wood. It is Luke Wood. Beg your pardon. In the shadows up there. But he almost made a right holding, so that by running past it. It happens, it can happen, but he was okay. Bairstow moves to 60, 83 for 1 is the score midway through the 8th over. Green in again. Again, it's leg side behind square this time, and rolls along the ground for a single for Bairstow. So this is Bairstow on now 61 of 31 deliveries. And I was just doing a little bit of looking up as to the fact, you know, it's like, oh, fastest centuries, fastest hundreds and T20 and everything. And I've seen that he's nowhere near it. And when you think about what we've seen tonight, to have seen, and I'll tell you about it in a minute, as Chris Green comes in and bowls, oh, and he almost gets under the bat there of Luxton, but Luxton gets enough on it to go through for a single. Sean Abbott got a century of 34 balls against Kent. I think, I say, can you imagine what that must be? I think actually I did see that. But these games come so thick and fast, my memory's a shocker anyway. But when you just compare what we've seen from Johnny tonight and think, really? In that amount of balls, somebody scored 100, and we've seen this tonight. You would have thought this has to be among the fastest, wouldn't you? You really would. 31 balls for his 61 at the moment. 85 for 1 is the score. Again, almost gets under the bat, but again, Bairstow gets enough on it. Up into the shadows to Luke Wood again with a left-arm throw and a single. Completes that over, of which it's gone for just the 6 runs. I say just the 6. Actually, that is a bit of pulling back, really. Yorkshire 85 for 1 after 8 overs. Bairstow 61 of 32 balls. Will Luxton 20 of 14. I'm thinking of people like Luxton, though. What a night for somebody like Luxton and his family from over Yorkshire, you know, involved in a night like tonight. It's terrific.
Absolutely. He's a young lad. He's 22 years old, and it'll be the first time he's played in front of this sort of crowd and atmosphere, particularly as an away fixture. That's the big difference, is going to a big stadium, playing away from home, and a game having this much pressure on. So it'll be an amazing occasion for him. He's scored 226 runs this Vitality Blast and had a real breakthrough season for Yorkshire. and it's whether he can do it on the big occasion. We know Johnny Bairstow, big occasion player, and that's why he turns up, is for nights like tonight.
It is, he loves it. I mean, Anderson versus Bairstow, and a little bit with Butler also standing there as the wicketkeeper. I mean, it is really something extra. And let's not forget Malan was out there first up as well. All the international experience he has, but of course he is now out. Blatherwick bowls in, and that's on the leg stump. Could have a chance. Oh, shy in the stumps. He went for the throw, which bounced just in front of the stumps. If it hit it on the full, that could have been really quite interesting. Bairstow would have been able to turn around in time, because he went, well, by some distance for a run. That would have been a close call for the TV umpire to have had a look at, but he could have done with hitting them, couldn't he, from there? Difficult off your own bowling, perfectly understand that, but it's that sort of moment and occasion and half chance that Lancashire perhaps have to take here tonight.
Absolutely, yeah, he bowls it well, does Blatherwick. He follows him, hits his pads.
He's in again, this time around about middle and leg, so he's coming back into those pads again. Can't get that away, it's a dot ball.
Two really nice pieces of bowling there from Blatherwick. He's just aiming at Bairstow's pads, and Bairstow unable to get that ball away.
We talk about Luxton, what about Blatherwick on his journey in the game as well? These are, again, big occasions for him.
Absolutely, and he's had a great season this year, particularly in the blast. He seems to be a lot more consistent with the ball. And what we've seen in previous years is just leaking that bad ball, couple of bad balls and over.
And he's in again, short, and goes to pull at this one, does Bairstow. Another dot ball. Now, Johnny will not be liking this. He's on 62 of 34. In his mind, he could be on 12 of 34 because of the way he just wants to keep on going at this. And he's got to, hasn't he, I guess? I mean, they'll be looking at this and they'll be thinking, we've made a really good start, but we can't let up here, because this does look like the sort of surface, the sort of night where we're talking about a high-scoring game. Would you agree?
Absolutely. They've scored 5 off the last 8 balls, and you can see it's a pressure pot building.
Blatherwick bowls again. Yorker length straight back over the top of the bowler. That's going to be 4 runs. Put his right hand up to it, but by gum, I'm glad he didn't get his fingertips to it, I have to be honest. It's a 4, and it takes Yorkshire up to 90 for 1 now. Or is it? Yeah, I can't work out whether the board is. Yes, it is 90 for 1. That's caught up. But anyway, Bairstow with another boundary. So something for the tall figure of Blatherwick.
He's almost looked stronger tonight, has Bairstow, when he's not trying to overhit the ball. He is trying to put some muscle into that. But that was just a classy shot, straight back down over the bowler's head. Easy does it.
Blatherwick in again to Johnny, and that's up and over, and Johnny's annoyed because he wanted to sort of lift that up and over. Well, up and over the keeper probably is what he was going to go for, up and over the top of Butler, but doesn't get anything on it. A shorter ball, taken easily by the keeper.
We've seen Blatherwick bowl a lot of this heavy length throughout the blast competition. He seems to get a lot off the pitch, does Blatherwick. And so that length ball just gets big on Johnny. And it's been a good over so far. 4 from it, 1 delivery left. Who's going to be the winner of this over?
Yep. Well, it's Bairstow on 66. Blatherwick bowls to him now. Fuller, driven. Now to Full Salt coming running round to our right-hand side here at long on. So a single from it. So that means it's 91 for 1. Bairstow's moved to 67. He'll keep the strike off 38 balls. Luxton on 20. Who won that over then?
I think Lancashire did, just 5 from it. There was just that one delivery that was a little bit full from Blatherwick that Bairstow waited on and was able to hit that down the ground for 4. Aside from that, it's gone for 1 run. So the past 2 overs have gone for 10 runs in a 91 for 1 off 9. So Lancashire are just stemming the run rate now. It looks like they're going to continue with Green, or is that a change of Tom Hartley into the attack?
Sensible. I mean, Green bowled well and started this bit of a squeeze.
Yeah, this is a really important over. Can they maintain this pressure? Because if they release it here, Yorkshire will be back on top. Hartley
bowls full and driven along the ground up there too. Long on. For me, I'm looking at this and looking to you now as the expert to tell me about it, because to me it's not off the bottom of the bat, but it's almost as if when they're playing the ball, it's as if it's almost over the top of the ball. They're not able, I mean, to get it away that much, are they? These are full deliveries. Oh, talking of which, he's actually caught that beautifully. right there on the pitch, the ball, that's a 6 out there on the leg side, so forget that. I was just wondering about those full balls they were bowling, that maybe they weren't quite able to get away, but he's certainly got hold of that as Luxton.
Tell you what, it's a gorgeous slog sweep into the party stand. He keeps his head over the ball and fast hands. But the way that he executes that from a solid base and a still head is just remarkable. It's a wonderful strike.
Quality shot from Luxton. Use of the feet this time, straight and a long way again. This time it's a straight 6. 2 successive 6s. Well, we talked about whether or not it was a good move to change green. He put in a terrific over previously from that end. Changed to Hartley. Hartley himself, who's played well recently. It's a 6 confirmed by umpire White. But now successive 6s. Hartley, what's he got for Luxton, who's moved to 32? He's not going to, well, shouldn't get a 6 from this. He's going to get a 4. That flew in the end. Initially, I was looking for the fielder to come running round for that, but it was far too quick for him. 2 6s and a 4 in this over. I'm not going to ask you who you think's won this over. Yorkshire have gone past the 100 mark, by the way, in this now, in terms of their scores. 108 for 1. Single, 6-6-4. Tumbling stop, another single this time. It's Anderson who does a tumbling roll there, just on the edge of the circle.
Well, he's taken a bit of pace off the ball now, has Tom Hartley, but he's just weighed with his lines and his lengths, and he's been punished.
So Hartley again around the wicket. Straight, high, should be and will be another 6. It is. Oh dear, this has not been a good over. Tom Hartley has been punished without mercy here by both Bairstow and young Luxton as well. It's 10 overs gone, and that now is 115 for 1.
Oh, it's a wonderful strike. You can't take that away from Johnny Bairstow. It's a flat-batted slog sweep straight, and it's absolutely gone the whole way into the pavilion. And that's where the pressure has been released again. Yorkshire are definitely on top at the halfway stage, and the predicted score that's just come onto the screen is 230.
Just 200. It should say that on the board, actually. It should say just 230.
So they're 115 for 1 at the halfway stage.
Bairstow's on 74, but it's Luxton who's facing now on 37 down the leg side, and there'll be a dot ball. This is still Blatherwick continuing here. What's going through Keaton's mind when he makes that swap? Is he concerned that as good as that Chris Green over was, that both of them would be able to, maybe having got into that second over, if there had been one from Green, they could have sized him up and got going at him. Maybe poor old Tom Hartley suffered for the fact that, if you like, Green had that decent over, a bit of spin from that end, they'd sort of got into the motion, like the head space to punish it the way they did. It's on the leg stump and driven through mid-wicket. They will pick up at least 1. It'll become 2. And the score now moves to 117 for 1. I'm just trying to think, what would Keaton's thinking be there?
Well, the danger of the back-to-back overs is that batters line up bowlers. Particularly with off-spin, Chris Green bowled a lovely pace and a lovely line and length. And if they can line that up then from the back-to-back over, that would have been the danger. But I guess with bringing Tom Hartley back on, he'd had a poor first over, and they knew they could take him down. Blatherwick
in again, high away mid-wicket. Has it got enough to cross the boundary? And some it has. I love those shots. They go so high and you're looking for them some distance beyond the boundary, and actually they just drop a few yards beyond, but they drop so quickly. Not a chance out there in the end for that to be a catch for Chris Green, who we've just been talking about. It's another 6 for Yorkshire. They move to 123 for 1.
Well, it'd be a wonderful chip onto the green, that the way that the height that it got, the swing that Luxton used, and then it just landed still and stationary onto the ground.
Blatherwick in again, another one that's just gone high. Has this got the legs? It's coming down for Salt. Can he take the catch? No, he drops it. Now, we'll talk about that in a minute. They ran through for 1. Now he's put that down. For me, well, no, I must look to you. I've got a reason for that. He was holding his hands up there to the sun, and he's got himself in the wrong position for it.
Yeah, it looked like the sun potentially got in his eyes there. He's not wearing sunglasses, is Phil Salt, but his hands weren't high. His hands were nowhere when you look at him underneath that catch. He hits it high, just like the previous delivery, but it's not long enough Salt's hands are very low down and he goes late to catch.
Well, he does. Blatherwick comes in and bowls this next delivery. He's annoyed by that. Of course he's annoyed by that drop catch. Will this be another 4? Chris Green almost overruns it. They'll go through for 2. It makes it 126 for 1. 1 ball left to the 11th over. But he wasn't in the right place either, was he? He thinks he is. He's standing there pretty solid and straight. And then he has to go back a yard, 2 yards. He hasn't read the flight of it, has he?
No, and sometimes when the skies are so blue, it's almost like the ball drops on you quicker. So you've got to have your hands high and early in position. And that's something that Salt doesn't do. His hands are very low, very tight into him.
Oh, they can't afford that tonight, Lancashire. They cannot. Oh, into the helmet. This is a nasty one from Blatherwick into Bairstow's helmet. He comes back up, he's okay, but they will have to check this out. What a delivery from Blatherwick. It had the better of Bairstow here. That's really sharp from Blatherwick.
Yeah, that's really well bowled, that by Blatherwick. It's hit him flush on the head.
He's up, and he's standing there. The physio will come out from Yorkshire, obviously, ask him whatever questions have been preordained at the start of the season.
That's a good over from Blatherwick. Obviously gets taken down from this with the 6, but it's out towards his field. And the drop catch by Salt, which is going to be costly here. We've got Bairstow, who's on 76 from 42, and Luxton, who's joined the party as well, but that is a flush on Bairstow's grill.
He's pointing at the side of his head in the end. Now, of course, perhaps he has no idea where the ball hit it, but it's Johnny Bairstow. He would do this. He's trying to give the impression he's okay. This makes life for the physio really difficult when you're dealing with characters such as Johnny Bairstow, because it's ultimately the physio's responsibility. Now, you wouldn't be able to drag Johnny Bairstow off here, but he's smiling, the physio's smiling, but they've got to be so careful in these instances. They really have. Look at it again. I know what you mean. It was a terrific delivery. I always want to make sure that the batter is really okay before we say things such as, that was a brute of a ball, wasn't it?
It was. It's exactly what you're looking to do as a bowler.
I know you are.
But it's taken
11 overs
Johnny
gone,
and had
126 for 1.
A big hit on the face there, but he looks like he's all right. He got straight back on his feet. But the physio's been out there with him for a few minutes just to double check, because the worst thing you can do is just say, yes, yes, all fine, all fine. You need to do the proper checks, particularly when it hits you so flush like that. And often just give players a minute just to make sure, because the instant reaction for any player in that moment is, I'm fine, turn around, turn around.
Bairstow's on 76 from 42. Will Luxton's 46 from 22, and it's Chris Green who's going to come back on here. Tom Hartley, well, he really did get punished from that end in the previous over from that Jimmy Anderson end, and that's a lovely shot. Immediately that's going to be 4 runs behind square on the offside. Green had kept it really tight, immediately concedes a boundary off his first ball of the 12th over. That's 130 for 1 now, and that brings up the 50 for Will Luxton. What a night for Will Luxton. His 50 from 23 deliveries.
Well, a fantastic knock by Will Luxton there, his 3rd 50 of the competition, and he's had a great campaign so far, and he's certainly joined the party here tonight.
Green back to his mark again. He will come in now and bowl high away over mid-wicket. How far over mid-wicket? A long way over mid-wicket. Into the crowd. Just below the point, if you know this ground really well, they're away to our left. The sun is shining in on us, and I'm not complaining for 1 minute about that. It does mean that in the shadow there, it's not too easy to identify exactly where that ball landed. But it's gone over the rope. It is another 6.
Well, it's scary to think that this Yorkshire team have only won 3 of the 10 matches so far within this campaign. The way that Johnny Bairstow and Will Luxton are batting this evening, it's hard to stop them tonight.
I think that's the 11th 6th of the innings in this 12th over. And we've seen 9 4s. Dealing in 6s, not the 4s tonight. Green bowls, leans back. That's going to be a dot ball to Keaton Jennings doing the fielding at extra cover. Shadow further cast across the ground here, this iconic venue. Now, changes angle here, does Chris Green, going into bowl to Luxton. Bairstow's on 76, Luxton on 56. Trying to give a bit of width and leans across that. Is this a good move then from Green? Just altering things a little.
Well, you normally come round the wicket to tuck the batter up, but he's done the opposite there, which has thrown him.
And he's swapped over immediately. Green again, this time over the wicket, and just pulls this away through mid-wicket. I think that's going to perfectly bisect those two fielders out there, and that's another 4. Wow.
Well,
I think, Phoebe, you were talking about just the immense power and the strength of the Lancashire batting, okay, on paper tonight. It's got to be more than just on paper, hasn't it, tonight? It really has. 10 fours, 11 sixes. We've just seen that being confirmed. The score of 140 for 1. 1 ball left to the 12th over. Green comes around the wicket now this time. Punch to his right-hand side. Was that a catching opportunity, diving to his right? Really sharp, really low down. I'd like to see that again. It might have been, but to be honest with you, well, it was really difficult. The way things are at the moment, a dot ball, I'm saying, is almost as good as a wicket. At 141 for 1, 12 overs gone. Bairstow on 76 from 42. Luxton's on 61 from, I think it's 28, maybe 27 deliveries. Well, Phil Salt, ahead of this game, came out with a statement which caught my attention. He calls this the biggest game in domestic cricket around the world, which is some statement. Doesn't mean quite as much to people in Yorkshire because, as we all know, the world finishes somewhere south of Sheffield and west of Birch Services. But to the rest of us, that is some statement from Phil Salt, isn't it? It really is.
And it definitely is. You don't get this sort of atmosphere anywhere else in domestic cricket apart from a Roses match.
Another over from Blatherwick, and this one's fine on the leg side, down towards fine leg for a single. Blatherwick, well, what are his figures coming into this? Actually, 2 overs, 16 runs. And I'm looking at him thinking, well, you've put in a real good effort tonight for your team. But of course, I mean, OK, your bowlers, your T20, OK, you've got all these runs piled up on the board. You want to be taking wickets. Can you really take the satisfaction I'm feeling from Blatherwick that actually he's tried to pull it back, hasn't he, in terms of economy? But I guess it's wickets they need now. It's full on the leg stump, worked away by Bairstow. Salt will come running up. You can see this one, and that's a single. Do you know what I mean? As a bowler, you're thinking to yourself, well, I want to do more than just stop them from scoring runs. I want wickets.
Well, he should be 1 for 15 here if that catch was taken.
That's very true.
So he's bowled really well as Blatherwick. But you don't often see within the middle phase of the game bowlers bowl 3 on the bounce, but Blatherwick is the only one that seems to be reading the game well. Now he comes into Luxton and this could change in any moment.
Well, it could. He's on 62. A swipe at that. A delivery which took off a little shorter in length. I mean, the key here surely is the fact you've got to try and vary it a little bit, haven't you? You tell me, what would you be doing out there to try and put a stop to this?
Well, he's got 5 fielders out on the leg side and a cover fielder out, so he knows that he can use his bumper. He's got a back of the hand, he can bowl into the pads, and he seems to be doing that and varying that really nicely, which is preventing both Luxton and Bairstow finding the boundary. And if they found the ropes, it's been over the fielder, so in the right positioning.
Luxton on 62, Blatherwick, Yorker delivery on the leg stump, but even that is clipped away there for a single through mid-wicket. But it is only 1 run, again, worth a cheer. 144 for 1 in the 13th over.
But Lancashire won't mind 1s and 2s. It's the boundaries that are really costing them at the moment. So this over so far, so good from Blatherwick. He's got 2 balls. Can he get a wicket? Can he get out of his over? That's what his captain Keaton will be wanting.
OK, let's see. Comes in now, bowls a little shorter in the air, but up and over the top of mid-off and over long off for 6. Away to our left-hand side. Can't quite see it over the gantry here, but I can see Michael Goff raising his fingers. I love the fact we got the umpires Goff and White. I just need to make sure that people know it's not Darren Goff and Craig White. Those back in the day. Craig White, of course, is down away to our left-hand side, part of the coaching staff here.
Yeah, one of the bowling coaches is Craig White.
But this is Michael and Rob.
But yeah, he goes slow and wide, does Blatherwick there, and his field isn't set for that, so it's a poor delivery in what has been a good few overs so far from Blatherwick.
Comes in again and bowls again, shorter and slower as well, but that's been pulled away behind square leg side. That's going to be a 4. Well, for all the effort, for all the trying, and as you say, he's been the best really, but still that's another 4, and it's Yorkshire 154 for 1. 13 overs gone. Bairstow is now on 87, not out.
Well, that was a classic example of you bowl a bad ball and you move your fielder to where you've bowled your bad ball to. And actually bowled his ball there into the wicket slower, but because fine leg was in the ring, he was able to guide that over fine leg easily for 4 runs. And even in the heat of the moment, you've got to remember, was it a bad ball or did I execute? Because that would have been to his previous plans. So he'll be disappointed, will Blatherwick. But now Keaton Jennings, he turns to James Anderson. Can he do anything different here to stop Johnny Bairstow and Will Luxton, who have been spectacular this evening?
Jimmy doesn't like it when either of that, but I say particularly Bairstow swipes him away on the leg side for 6.
He's come out on the pitch with swagger. It looked like he was starting fights and chatting away with everyone.
That's his way. Anderson it is, in and bowls to Luxton, full on the off stump. They'll go through for a single. I wonder what would have been said there. Who was Luke Wood was there, Anderson was there, Keaton Jennings there just before the start of the over. I wonder what the chat was. I wonder what they were saying.
Well, I think they're just trying to figure out how they stem the run flow here. And even if they're going to get aerial, it's key that they get hit over where the fielders are, because then if there's a miss hit, it goes straight down the fielder's throat.
Bairstow's on 87 from 45 balls. Next delivery, slow on the off stump and worked up to long on for a single.
Well, it's smart bowling from James Anderson. He just rolls his hands over that. Oh, it's a back of a hander from James Anderson, actually. And no pace at all for Bairstow to work with, and is smirking to Jimmy, but I don't think James Anderson is giving him anything back.
Anderson comes running in from the far end, in and bowls. This is high, but is it high without distance? I think it is. It's a chance for Wood to take a catch. Oh, another drop! Oh my dear life! Another drop, big drop, and they'll go through for, I think they've run 3 there off that drop. He's still lay out there as well. I mean, he's okay, but he can't quite believe what's happened.
No, James Anderson can't either.
No, 159 for 1 midway through the 14th over. Bairstow to 88, Luxton on 67.
I've seen this happen at Headingley before when the crowd's behind Lancashire, but on a home day, they're just not taking their opportunities. Anderson
in again, width, high again, straight, no chance surely for the fielder here. No, clears the rope. It's a 6. We've just seen a replay there on our screen of Jimmy saying up, and I think basically, I'm reading that was to Luke Wood earlier, saying don't lie there feeling sorry for yourself, get up and get on with it, I think was the message.
Absolutely. Well, they came back and ran 3. So now Johnny Bairstow's on strike and been able to take him down into the pavilion for
2
6.
balls left to this over. Short, pulled behind square. There's nobody down here. It's going to be another 4. Oh, wow. Do you know, there is part of me, though, I must tell you what the score is, which is 169 for 1 now. There is part of me that can see Salt, Butler, maybe Jennings, maybe other Chris Green or whatever, chasing this, taking this deep. That's what we need. However, I still feel I need Lancashire to take a little bit of the momentum from this innings into the next. They need to take 2 or 3 wickets for me. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Those drop catches, they could really play on the mind, couldn't they? Anderson in bowls, worked away. Oh, it's another 4. It's flying everywhere. Another 4 from Bairstow. And that's a century, which is some doing. 49 balls for 100, not out for Bairstow. The score is 173 for 1. Bat is raised, the helmet is kissed. He swings as if a baby is there. Maybe family are here watching as well, I don't know. A 5th T20 100 in 234 matches. I'm surprised there have not been more. But on this evidence, I'm even more shocked there have not been more. I must move out and let Scott come in, let you talk about that century from Johnny Bairstow.
Well, it's an incredible knot from Johnny Bairstow, and he's loving every minute of it, as he should. An occasion player, and he's turned out tonight. Emirates Old Trafford, full house, and he's absolutely dominated the bowling attack, and he deserves every single run out there.
It's Wells in and bowls to Luxton. That's driven down the ground for a single. What's going on, Phoebe Graham? Bairstow has been absolutely brutal tonight.
And you can almost tell when he's in one of those moods. We've seen it at Trent Bridge against New Zealand when he took down the New Zealand bowling attack. You know when Johnny Bairstow is on, and he is on tonight, and it's been enjoyable to watch.
Wells in bowls, he throws it wide of a stump, and Bairstow hits it away into the offside for a single and moves to 103 now. These are special moments for cricketers, scoring centuries in T20 cricket, full stop, but a Rosa century as well. That's, I mean, it's take a bow, isn't it? It's really special batting from Bairstow.
And you can't ignore his mate, Will Luxton, 68 off 34.
Off the back foot this time, Luxton goes and drills it down the ground for a single. That's a great point. You could easily overlook the other batter, can't you? But it is very much a partnership between these two.
Yeah, the supporting act of Will Luxton is very much not supporting,
yes.
Striking at 200, been dropped on 2 occasions, but it's certainly kept the momentum going for Yorkshire.
That's in the air by Bairstow, out towards the leg side. Who's underneath it? Forget who's underneath it. That's 6. That's 6 and plenty. Salt was trying to get into position to take a catch and quickly knew that Bairstow had caught the whole of that. 6 more for Yorkshire, 182 for 1.
Well, a lovely strike from Bairstow, and he's loving every minute of it now out there. You could tell he was having early doors crack with the Lancashire lads, but he's just relishing it now.
182 for 1. Wells in, bowls 6 again in the hotel, out towards the leg side. Oh, it's Bairstow's night, and it just feels already that it could well be Yorkshire's night tonight. Lancashire going to have to chase something absolutely huge here this evening. Bairstow's walloping it around Old Trafford.
Now that is humongous from Johnny Bairstow, and it's gone down the stairs.
It's gone to the bar behind the back of the stairs. It's gone for I don't believe it's gone for a cold drink. It's fed up of being hammered around that ball.
Of 52 deliveries.
Wow.
Lancashire needs something here to stop the 2 of them. There's 5 overs left after this delivery.
5? Oh my word. 188 for 1. Here is Luke Wells. Bowls again to Bairstow. Full toss. Hits it up and over backward point down towards the boundary just for a single. They'll take a dot ball. I heard you were saying to Kevin when Jack Blatherwick was bowling, dot balls are, well, they're like wickets for Lancashire. They've been such a rarity. That's the end of the over. As Phoebe Graham said, there's still 5 more to come. Lancashire are going to have to be chasing, well, almost certainly you would think a record run chase for Lancashire in T20 cricket. I'll bring that up in a second, what that is. But Yorkshire here, Phoebe, in just dreamlike position for them. It's just 1 wicket down and 189 runs on the board.
Yeah, it's been outstanding from Yorkshire. I think Lancashire have lacked some discipline with the ball and in the field. 2 dropped opportunities for Will Luxton, which would have really stemmed the flow of runs here. But Johnny Bairstow has been exceptional. He's not given away a chance yet. Had a few balls pin him as well, but he's gone out there and he's striking at over 200, 116 off 53, and we're almost ignoring Will Luxton at the other end, who's on 69 off just 35 deliveries. 22 years of age, first Roses match, and his 3rd 50 of the competition so far.
Here's Chris Green in and bowls, throws it wide of off stump, but too far wide, and taken by Josh Butler. Highest partnership for Yorkshire in T20 cricket, this, against Lancashire. It's absolutely smashed the previous highest, which was Tom Calder-Cavmore and David Willey back in 2018. It's a record-breaking partnership in Rosa's cricket. by these two. Here's Green in and Bowles. Quick again, it's in the air, it's leg side, out towards the boundary, and they've held on to one. Catch taken, end of Bairstow, take a bow. Yorkshire, Lancashire rivalry to one side. It doesn't really matter any of that. That was magnificent by Johnny Bairstow. Outstanding batting. What
a fantastic knock. It was fun to watch. I enjoyed every moment of that. And he was absolutely outstanding, was Johnny Bairstow, as I think the crowd are standing on their feet. Ripple of applause. He's absolutely loving it. Bat raised in the air. It's a fantastic knock from Johnny Bairstow. He's an occasion player and he's turned out tonight here at Emirates Old Trafford, the biggest fixture in domestic cricket in the world, and Johnny Bairstow has stepped up to the plate.
And what was lovely about that, Phoebe, is that Lancashire supporters on their feet applauding Johnny Bairstow, because sometimes you just have to take a step back and say that was just quite magnificent. And absolute credit to the Lancashire supporters in the ground, everyone on their feet to applaud it.
Well, I think every single cricketer in the world will have enjoyed that knock. Even the Lancashire players on the pitch, they'll have hated bowling against him, but they know that is one heck of a knock. So yeah, lovely moment there from the Lancashire fans, but that's why he's played at such an unbelievable.
This is Abdullah, the new batter, just nudging this delivery from Green off his hip for a single. He's off the mark straight away, 192 for 2.
That's why he's played so many matches for England and stepped up in those big occasions. That's what sets him apart from many other players, Johnny Bairstow, is that he, when the moment's there, he rises.
In comes Green, and Bowles again. And that's thrashed away through the offside towards the sweeper fielder, Jack Bladwick, for a single. What's the score now? 192, is it? 192 for 2. We're in the 16th over.
Huge opportunity, though, for Lancashire just to stem the run rate.
Yep.
The run rate at 12.4 at the moment. Can they get that down to 11s and make it more chaseable, keep them to 210, 220?
That's hit back down the ground, out towards the boundary at long on for 6. And Shafreet, the new batter, decides to take a step or two down the pitch and to launch Chris Green out towards the boundary in front of the pavilion for 6 more. They're knocking on the door of 200 now, 198 for 2.
Well, it's been easy for the batters coming out and striking the ball, so I think it is a high-scoring pitch. We've seen a knock of a lifetime there from Johnny Bairstow.
As Green comes in and Bowles again, that's nudged away towards the leg side. Green shies at the stumps. I reckon he's short of his ground. Shafreek, if Green hits, he didn't. They've scrambled through for 199 for 2. But with what we've got, 1 ball left of the 16th. We have 1 delivery to go of the 16th over.
But hopefully the Lancashire lineup will be licking the lips thinking, I'd rather have a bat in my hand tonight than a ball. And with the lineup that they've got, they can keep striking at 200 all the way down to number 9 to number 10.
Here comes Green in and Bowles to Luxton again. He throws it wide, and it's in the end he's reaching for it. Probably would have been called a wide had he left it. And he's just turned it back down the pitch towards Green for a dot ball. 16 overs gone. So 4 overs remaining. 200 is, well, obviously going to happen. How far north of 200? What can Lancashire realistically chase down?
Well, I think they'll be looking now, how do they keep them under 220? There's 24 balls remaining in this game. But Yorkshire will be thinking as well, how can we get 50 off 24 deliveries and go 250 here? So I think par for this wicket is probably 190. They're already above that, but they're bringing James Anderson on from the Brian Statham end. There's a big bowlers meeting at the moment. Luke Wood's there, Keaton Jennings there. He's got cover out and all the leg side field. But these last 4 overs will make or break Lancashire's day.
Jimmy Anderson returns. in and balls out towards the leg side by Shafiq. There are fielders lurking out there below the new hotel in a little bit of shade, not too much shade across the ground. That single does bring up 200. They have got there with power and time to come. Off your spotter, Phoebe.
Anderson, just looking at his figures there, 3 overs, 0 for 40.
Oh. 200 for 2, Yorkshire. Anderson comes in, bowls low full toss, and that's played back down the ground by Will Luxton for a single. There's lots of different stats flying around here, there and everywhere. You get to that stage, don't you, when you have such big scores and you see a century like that. We've been looking at what is the highest roses total in T20 cricket. Well, that is well within reach for Yorkshire. The highest roses total was actually scored by Lancashire. It's 231 for 4 a decade ago. It's when they won the competition in 2015. Goodness me, I can't even remember that. I was here for it, but 231 for 4. As Anderson comes in, bowls again, leg side, in the air. Oh, it's an awkward one for Green. He's done really well to stop it. Diving forward, Phoebe. Couldn't take the catch, but saves the runs.
Yeah, it's a good piece of fielding by Chris Green there out in the deep. He went for the catch, but just bounced in front of him, but he did remarkably well to get his hands in front and not let that shoot past him. But Yorkshire come back for the 2. And the total on the scoreboard just keeps ticking over.
Yes, it's 203 for 2. Anderson bowls, it's short, and swing and a miss from Shafiq, and through to the keeper. There's no run. So that score 231 for 4. That was here. That's the highest roses total in T20 cricket. That was made by Lancashire. They won the game by 29 runs. Blimey, Yorkshire pushed it close. So that's well within reach for Yorkshire. There's also a record for Bairstow as well with that century. As Anderson sets off and bowls again, full, just wide of off stump and driven to mid-off. Wood has a shy at the stumps. Scramble through for a single though, 204 for 2.
Yeah, it's a good over so far from James Anderson. Just 4 from his 4 deliveries. And it's damage control now. Can they get out of these last 3.1 overs without too much damage? Can they keep them under 220?
Just saying that out loud seems ridiculous. 204 for 2 as Anderson comes in and bowls to Luxton. Swings down the ground. That's 6 more. Down towards where the Lancashire balcony is. And James Anderson is being carted around Emirates Old Trafford. He's now gone for over 50 from his 4 overs. That's the end of Anderson for the evening. It can happen in T20 cricket. It can happen to one of the greatest of all time. Doesn't matter who you are and what your reputation is. If you're going to get hit, you can get hit. 210 for 2.
Absolutely. It's not a great delivery, though, from Anderson. Luxton, who's in brilliant form and seeing the ball so well. And he's just bowled that in the slot for him. So he's played his hand nicely there as Luxton and hit through the line of the ball. And it just looks an effortless shot for 6.
It's the joint fastest century by a Yorkshire player in T20 cricket. The Bairstow century, the joint second fastest. And it's the fastest century scored against Lancashire in T20 cricket by Bairstow earlier today. Here's Luke Wood, left arm over, bowls, and that's a thick swing at the bat, thick edge over short third man down towards the boundary, and they keep on coming. They keep finding a way to find the ropes. 214 for 2 now, and I suspect that this is now going to have to be. It is with that boundary. Lancashire's highest successful run chase, if they were to get whatever is their set now. They've never got more than 208 to win a T20 match. As Wood is in, bowls again, full and wide and too far wide according to the umpire, and through to Joss Butler. That previous highest successful run chase that Lancashire got was 208 for 4. That was also against Yorkshire. That was at finals day a couple of years ago.
Well, I tell you what, Will Luxton might have done here is 77 off 39 balls, and we've got the 100 wildcard picks Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock. If you can turn up tonight on this big occasion, you're picking Will Luxton in the 100, aren't you?
2:15 for 2. Wood in balls and hit back towards Luke Wood by Shafreek off the toe end of his bat. Well, they say it's all about timing, don't they?
Absolutely. It's not 77 off 39 in a half-filled stadium elsewhere in the North Group. It's the Roses match, and you can hear the atmosphere. It's electric.
It is, even though Lancashire are staring down the barrel. Woods in and balls. Fallen wide, but too far wide again. Called wide by the umpire. The second wide sent down by Luke Wood in this over. The Lancashire supporters are still in good voice. I suspect they're well lubricated. That's probably the reason why. They might not quite be aware of what the score is. 216 for 2.
We've hit 8 o'clock, so they've definitely managed to get a few drinks down them at this stage. But maybe they know something we don't. It's a road.
Yep.
And maybe 250s par.
Luke Wood, left arm over, balls again, chipped away towards the leg side by Shafreek. And it's just worth a single for him. He moves on to 17, 217 for 2. Do you want any more miserable stats from Lancashire's point of view? The partnership between Bairstow and Luxton was Yorkshire's highest ever T20 partnership, and also the highest ever partnership scored against Lancashire as well. So it's a record-breaking night for Yorkshire, for Bairstow, and it will have to be a record-breaking night for Lancashire if they're to win it from this position.
Well, they've got the players to do it, Scott. Can they step up to the occasion after that superb knock? And like we say, Luxton 77 from 39.
Here's Luke Wood, balls, and that's driven square of the wicket. And Blatherwick out towards the boundary at point. They'll come shuffling back for a couple. Throw comes in towards the bowler's end. And they have done well to force 2 more runs. 219 for 2 in the 18th over.
Yeah, it's not been a bad understudy at all here as Will Luxton. The star of the show being Johnny Bairstow, but he'll be looking at the scoreboard now thinking, is there any way I can reach my 100? 2.5 overs left in the game.
79 not out. It's been a long over this by Luke Wood. Still 2 balls left of it. In comes Wood. Balls again. That's full and wide and hammered out towards Blatherwick on the backward point boundary just for a single this time. It takes him to 80 not out, Will Luxton. Yorkshire now move on to 220 for 2. What was the projected score that was flashed up on the board when you and Kevin were on?
230.
Right.
And I don't know how that was projected, because at the halfway they were 115 for 1. So that was just to double the score. But really at that point you'd think maybe 250 was on. And it potentially is, depending on these last couple of overs.
Wood balls again, full and wide. And smeared away down towards the wide third boundary for a single. There's some very grumpy Lancashire bowlers, I can assure you, folks. There's a few that are blowing a bit here and not happy. Luke Wood's one of them. He's gone stomping off because it's been a pretty brutal night for the bowlers.
Well, his 4 overs go for 44 runs with 1 wicket. He got the scalp of Dawid Malan early doors. Beautiful delivery, angling in, moving away, and just took the outside edge of Dawid Malan's bat. But aside from that, the Yorkshire batters have taken him down alongside James Anderson, who bowled 4 overs for 51. All the bowlers going at 10s. It's hard to know who to pick, but he's gone for Jack Blatherwick for the penultimate over.
And here he is, Blatherwick. Bowls back of a length, lifted in the air out towards the leg side boundary, bouncing short of deep backward square leg. So just a single. He's bowled pretty well, hasn't he, Blatherwick, tonight? I mentioned how tough it's been for the bowlers. To his credit, he stuck at it very, very nicely and had a chance put down too.
Yeah, he's definitely been the most disciplined, and despite him going for 30 off 3.1, he's been hit where his fielders are, and I think that's a big sign to show that you're bowling well.
Sets off again. 222 for 2, Yorkshire. Here is Blatherwick. Balls in the air. 6 more. What a shot by Luxton, who's maybe still, well, I'm sure he is, flirting very much with the idea of 3 figures. He moves to 86 not out, and it's 228 for 2 now.
Such an incredible shot from Will Luxton. His head position over the ball is incredible. So still, and then just arm speed, whips his arms through that, and it goes up and over, deep square leg for 4. But you can see how in front he gets his head, gets in such strong positions, and he's got a hell of a career ahead of him, does Will Luxton.
86 from 42 balls. Jet Blatherwick was setting off to run in and realised he wasn't quite happy with how the field was set. Jennings goes to point. 228 for 2, Yorkshire in the 19th. Blatherwick in and balls, pushes it full and wide, little bottom under edge, sees the ball bounce down to Jos Buttler, and the most rare of things this evening, which is like seeing someone sober inside Old Trafford, is a dot ball. Wow.
Well, there's 9 balls left. Luxton needs 14 runs to bring up his 100. Yorkshire are 228 for 2. What a first half.
Well, if the second half goes anywhere near to match it, what a game we're in for. Blatherwick balls, swings away, Luxton, it's in the air. Jennings is chasing after it. It's bouncing in front of Jennings. It's bouncing in front of Jones, who comes up from the boundary. Jennings running out from the field in circle, and Will Luxton hurries back for 2 more. He moves on to 88 not out. If he wants a century, he's in with a great chance here.
Well, he's certainly going for it there. He tried to go up and over cover, didn't quite get hold of that, and it went high but landed just in front of every single fielder in the offside.
230 on the board. Blatherwick in, balls, he goes high again, more height than distance this time. He could be in a bit of bother. It's Luke Wood who spills it. Another one dropped by Lancashire Lightning tonight. Wood's dropped 2, Salt's dropped 1, and you start to think maybe this Rose's fixture is only heading in one direction, and it's over the other side of the Pennines. 231 for 2.
Well, he struck it high, did Luxton again. A little bit more fortune. The second drop catch off Jack Blatherwick's bowling. But if it went to long on, and long on or mid-on was in the ring, they wouldn't have had to move. But Luke Wood at mid-off have sprinted across the pitch. And on the run, got there, fumbled it.
Final ball of the over, swung away, leg side, in the air by Shafreek. Will it fall safe? Salt trying to get round. In the end, it bounces beyond the reach of Salt. And again, they hurry back for 2 more. Well, a penny for the thoughts of Jack Blatherwick. I think he's had a really decent night with the ball. He could and probably should have had 2 wickets. In the end, his 4 overs have conceded 41 runs. We have 1 over left, and Yorkshire, I'll say this slowly for listeners who may just be joining us, are 233 for 2 from 19 overs. With Luxton on 89, Shafreek on 21, and Johnny Bairstow having hit the fastest century by any player against Lancashire, and the joint fastest in T20 cricket for Yorkshire, making 116 off 54 deliveries.
Certainly has been Yorkshire's night so far. The scoreboard predicted 230 at the halfway point. It might be 240, it could be 250. But it's Chris Green to bowl the final 6 balls of the day, which has been an entertaining first half, to say the least.
I mean, it's just been an absolutely crazy first half to the game. 18 sixes so far, with 1 over to go. Right, Luxton, he needs 11 for a century. Green in, balls. They're going to a boundary off that, fired in quickly and full.
They're going to come back. No, they're not. Luxton wanted to come back for 2 there, but turned down. Should have really come back for 2, given how he's striking the ball and that his 100 is on.
Yeah, he's moved to 90 with that, but he's at the wrong end with 5 deliveries to go. So it's Green, 234 for 2 Yorkshire. Here's Green for Lancashire Lightning, in and bowls, clobbered back down the ground. It's in the air, and they take one down towards the long off boundary, and it's Shafriq who's gone. Has to make way. Lancashire, well, they find the 3rd wicket. Tom Hartley with the catch. 234 for 3 as Green does his best to try and restrict Yorkshire to something less than 240.
Well, yeah, it shouldn't have really been Shafiq facing up to that delivery. He refused to run the 2 with Luxton, so he maintained the strike, got out next ball. It's funny how cricket has a vicious way of coming back to bite you, and they'll be pleased more than anything that that is a dot in the scorebook, a wicket. And Yorkshire now 234 for 3, but a nice contribution, 21 from 14 deliveries.
Yeah, he just kind of rocked up and got on with it, didn't he? But I mean, what a position to come out and bat when your team's in such a strong position. You no pressure, come out and give it what you've got, and he has done that. Sutherland is the latest batter out there. Dot ball by Green, fires it in quickly, swing and a miss. And if they can try and scramble something from these final couple of deliveries, just a sense of feel good, it might give them something to work with going into their run chase.
So this is Australian Annabelle Sutherland's brother. So both very good all-rounders in the Sutherland family.
Well, the wicket comes Green, Aussie to Aussie, that's clobbered back over his head. He's chasing after it himself, is Chris Green. He's in position, and he takes the catch. He doesn't really drop many, Chris Green. Sutherland departs for naught. Lancashire get another wicket, that's the 2nd in the over. And it's 234 for 4. And sometimes these things do help, don't they, when you finish, if you can finish well.
Absolutely, it's about taking momentum into the dressing room, and however you do that, it helps. And if they can just stop any more runs here from Yorkshire, then it will help, absolutely. And it was a big call from Chris Green there, but he wanted it taken, that catch.
He's such a good cricketer, isn't he, Green? He just never thought for a second he would drop it. Running backwards, or running up with the ball falling over his shoulder, running away from the pitch, having to turn and go chasing after it.
A good thing for Lancashire, but Luxton been starved of strike in the final over. And I think they'll be kicking themselves for not taking that 2nd run on the 2nd ball of the over, as he's starved at the other end, 90 from 46, striking at 200.
James Walton's the new batter, and that's called a wide by Chris Green. He deliberately tried to push it wide, but just gone a fraction too far, according to the umpire.
Yeah, tough from the umpire there. Chris Green having a word with him. But Wharton, another young talent from Yorkshire, 24, in some good form at the moment. Also his first Roses match, experiencing it here at Emirates Old Trafford.
235 for 4. Green to Wharton, and he swings. It's in the air. It's down towards the fielder, Hartley, who takes the catch. 3rd wicket in the over. 4th for the evening for Green. 4 for 33. And it's 235 for 5, but they do have at least something here, Phoebe, to try and go into their run chase with having taken a few wickets.
Well, what a different game this could have been if this over happened any point earlier in the game. But it's happened now. The starving Yorkshire of any runs in the final over. And it'll be Jordan Thompson who comes out to the crease. His last Roses fixture, Emirates Old Trafford, is just signed for Birmingham Bears for the 2026 season. And it'll be occasions like this that he'll miss. Plays with his heart and soul, and played for Yorkshire since he was a young boy. And these are the occasions that he will miss as a cricketer, for sure.
I find that a bit surprising that Yorkshire have allowed him to go, or the decisions have been made that he looks elsewhere. Hey, he's a fabulous. I'm not just saying that because he's your mate, but he's a fabulous cricketer, isn't he? And
oh, absolutely.
I find that quite
Bat
surprising.
and ball, and almost he plays with his heart. So I was surprised to see it myself. So, but it's been the rise in Luxton and Wharton.
Well, he's on strike. Final ball of the innings. Here's Green to Thompson, and that's flashed away towards the leg side, and they'll turn them out. Might as well try for a single and get run out, but it's worth trying. So they get through successfully for 1 run, and that leaves Yorkshire on 236 for 5. So that will be, I think it is, that is the highest Roses total, going past Lancashire by a couple. Lancashire making 231 for 4 in 2015. It's also Yorkshire's 4th highest T20 score in total as well. They've had a record-breaking partnership with Bairstow and Luxton. They've had a record-equaling innings from Bairstow in terms of fastest to a century in T20 cricket. It has been absolutely brutal by Yorkshire, mainly by Bairstow and Luxton, but a word for Shafriq as well, his little cameo of 21. But if Lancashire get anywhere near that, then we're in for a very good finish.
Absolutely, and they've got the players to do it. They've got the players, the lineup, the ball striking, and it looks to be playing well, does the wicket. But yeah, what a knock there from Will Luxton and Johnny Bairstow. Johnny Bairstow, the star of the show, 116 from 54 deliveries. There was a standing ovation from the crowd here at Emirates Old Trafford as he departed the pitch, because it was such a brutal knock, such fantastic ball striking. But Will Luxton, almost the understudy. We almost didn't pay him a lot of attention, but he went about his business so well. A young emerging player from Yorkshire, 22 years of age, hit 90 off 46 deliveries, 5 fours, 7 sixes, and was just as destructive, but just got about his work a little bit quieter, and was only 10 runs short of that 100. Overall, Yorkshire's half, 236 for 6. A lot of work for Lancashire to do.
Just a bit. Cheers, Phoebe. Go and have yourself a break. See if we get anywhere near the run chase. It's going to be a pretty special effort if Lancashire can do that. So, what's the score again? 236 for 6. Yorkshire finish on. Lancashire Lightning set 237 to win. Okay, perfect. Okay, cheers, mate. Hello, mate. Hello, pal. Happy to crack on whenever. That was Mark Chilton talking about Stephen Croft, Lancashire's director of cricket there, catching up with him before play started a little bit earlier today. We're live from Old Trafford on the BBC Radio Lancashire, on the BBC Sport website and app, and on Sports Extra 2 as well for the Roses fixture between Lancashire Lightning and Yorkshire, where Yorkshire finished on 236 for 6 from 20 overs. Lancashire 237 to win. Scott Reed, Phoebe Graham and Kevin Howells, your commentary team. We're in for some finish, Phoebe, if Lancashire get anywhere near.
Absolutely. It's been a brutal first innings of ball striking by Yorkshire. And let's hope we see something in return from Lancashire.
Yes. Can they go some way to matching it? It's Dan Moriarty with some left arm spin to begin with, and Phil Salt is driving this down the ground for a single. It's one of those first half to games where you get to the halfway point and you're like, oh, there's a lot happened there to try and process.
We came off at the halfway point and Kevin said, we do need to update across the scores, yes, across the counties, but there's been so much going on.
Yes.
We've had to update on every single boundary that's been hit here at Emirates Old Trafford. So, yeah, there's certainly two players at the crease here in Phil Salt and Keaton Jennings who can hit a long ball.
There's Moriarty over the wicket to Jennings. That's played away off his front pad down towards short fine leg for a single. Already today in the North Group, the Worcestershire Rapids were up against the Bears, and the Bears beat the Rapids by 23 runs. That's a good victory for Birmingham Bears on the back of Wednesday's win against Lancashire. Moriarty to Salt. And that's punched into the offside, and there is no run. Also in the North Group tonight, big score for Northamptonshire Steelbacks, 237 for 4 from 20 overs against the Derbyshire Falcons, as Moriarty bowls again to Salt, driven away to mid-off, and they'll scramble through for a quick single. 3 without loss, Lancashire. Derbyshire 122 for 2 after 9 in reply to that score of 237 for 4. Nottinghamshire against Durham. Notts Outlaws 82 for 2 after 10. They've been set 157 to beat the North Group leaders. Moriarty to Jennings, which jabbed away in towards the onside for a single. So they're the other North Group fixtures tonight. There's obviously games taking place in the South Group as well, and there's also a game which is of significance to Lancashire Thunder, because the teams above them are playing tonight in the women's vitality blast. Moriarty in, short and wide and carved away for 4 by Salt to end the first over of the reply, and Lancashire Lightning are 8 without loss.
That's a lovely strike, that by Phil Salt. Just waits for it on the back foot and slaps it through the covers for 4 runs. 8 off the first over. It's felt a much calmer start from Lancashire, but still managed to find the boundary. And this power play will be key to take advantage of the fact there's only 2 fielders out in the deep, needing to go at 12 runs per over for the rest of the game.
Surrey beating the Blaze. So Surrey are the group leaders, and I don't know if that's actually got them into finals day or not, but they're well clear. They're 10 points clear of second place, Surrey, for example. Surrey have beaten the Blaze. The other 2 games, well, Hampshire Hawks, who are battling with Thunder for a top 3 finish. They made 103 for 7 from 20 overs. Durham in reply are 78 for 4, so Hampshire are well on course, as are the Bears, who were 3rd in the group. They made 149 for 8, Somerset 63 for 6 after 10 in reply. Here's Milnes in and bowling, and that's driven away by Jennings to cover, and there's no run. So just to put a bit of context on that, Hampshire, if they win, which they are well on course to do so, will go above Lancashire Thunder, and the Bears are on course to win in 3rd place, and they will extend their lead above Lancashire Thunder as well. Lancashire, they're back in action on Sunday here. Milnes into Jennings, that's a lovely shot, stepping across his stumps and ramping it down towards fine leg for 4 to get Jennings off the mark and to push Lancashire on to 12.
Well, it's a classic shot from Keaton Jennings. We've seen him play that many times before. Just paddles that over fine leg for 4. And there's a much calmer energy from these 2 opening batters who look to be clear, striking the ball well. Could have a game on our hands here.
12 without loss. 2 balls into the second over. Jennings on 6. Milnes in, balls to Jennings. Oh, big thick inside edge back onto his pad. And then it bounces away towards the offside, and there is no run. Double header here on Sunday, by the way. Weather's forecast is lovely, so if you fancy watching some live cricket, both Lancashire Thunder and Lancashire Lightning are in action at the weekend. First up, Thunder, 11 o'clock start against Durham, and then from 3, Lancashire Lightning, also against Durham. Both games live for you via the BBC Sport website and app. Jennings again going for that scoop and getting it off beautifully down towards fine leg, and 6. I was waiting for the umpire to slowly signal to 6 as the ball cleared the rope. He likes that shot, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a good option for him. Milnes has followed him, but Keaton keeps going wider and still manages to get it up and over his shoulder, over short fine leg for 4 runs.
It's produced it's resulted in quite a lengthy conversation between a couple of the Yorkshire players. You can have a little tweak to the field. What's going on here?
Yeah, I think they're just debating which 2 fielders will be out in the deep, so they move the deep square leg to deep fine leg to prevent Keaton from playing that ramp shot. They've also got a deep backward point.
18 for no wicket, Lancashire. Milnes in and balls to Jennings. They're getting a big thick inside edge back onto his pad. He's trying to slug it out towards the leg side. He'll take a single. And he's limping a bit.
It's caught him on his toes there.
Dear.
He's certainly executed his Yorker well there as Milnes.
He hobbled up towards the other end, didn't he? He's still hobbling around now. Oof, dear me. Big bruise there tomorrow morning, Lancashire captain. Gone for a slipping place here. 19 without loss. There's 1 ball left for the second over.
With the big total they've got on the board, they can be attacking, and it's important that you get Salt early in the innings.
In comes Milnes and balls to Salt, but down the leg side. And signalled a wide by the umpire, so score moves on to 20 without loss. Still got 1 ball left in the second over. Salt 6 from 4. Jennings is 13 from 7.
Slip straight out.
Yeah.
Can't be having a slip if you're bowling it down the leg side. Tried it for 1 ball, and you see that a lot in T20. 1 ball's almost the equivalent of an over in 50 over cricket.
Mills bowls to Salt, cracked away for 4. Through wide mid-off, up towards the boundary. Well, Lancashire Lightning, to state the absolute obvious there, Phoebe, they have to start well in this power play, don't they? They could lose it in this power play if they lose wickets, but they've got to start well.
Definitely, and that's a lovely shot by Salt. It's just driven on the up, through extra cover for 4 runs, taking the scoreboard up to 24 from 2. And I think it's just showing how well this wicket is playing, to be able to play that sort of shot early doors. It's a different style to what we saw from Luxton and Bairstow, who were really mullering the ball. But we've seen a few more traditional cricket shots, but still seeing the value of good, strong shots. The run rate required, 11.8, current run rate, 12. They definitely need a good power play to create a foundation for the rest of the batting order of Lancashire's attack to go bang bang.
It will be Will Sutherland from the Brian Statham end, right arm over the wicket and balls. That'll be wide. It's gone for the wide Yorker. Too far wide. Even the wides are being cheered. every run will count, and every possible run is needed here.
Well, this is the home advantage of a Roses match. You've got the extra player of the fans, and they're already showing up. 25
without loss. Oh, what a shot from Jennings, down the ground, all the way, 6 runs for the Lancashire Lightning captain. Keaton Jennings pushes Lancashire to 31 without loss in the 3rd.
It's a gorgeous strike, that from Keaton. Just uses the full stretch of his levers. Beautiful bat strings swing, straight back down over the bowler's head. Will Sutherland punished.
Sets off again. Sutherland bowls to Jennings. Again, looking to try and ramp it. Step right across the stumps, knowing that fine legs inside the circle, but couldn't quite make contact. Through it goes to the keeper, Johnny Bairstow. And there's no run. 31 without loss. We're in the 3rd over.
Well, he loves that option in the power play, does Keaton, with both 3rd and fine up in the ring. Anything on that and it goes all the way and races to the boundary for 4.
Sutherland bowls to Jennings, swings down the ground, but he's in the air. He could be caught. He is. Oh, it's a great. Oh, he's dropped it. No, he's kept it. It was his sunglasses that fell off, and the Lancashire supporters started cheering, thinking that what they saw hit the ground was the ball. Instead, it was some part of his sunglasses. And in the end, the catch has been taken by Dom Best, and Jennings has to depart. He's gone for 19, 31 for 1.
That was a good catch in the end from Dom Best, tracking back. He hit a hard lengthed with Will Sutherland, and it caught the splice of Keaton Jennings' bat. The ball went high in the air. Dom Best tracking back at mid-off, and as he catches it and stumbles, he loses, I think, some part of his sunglasses, and we think it's the ball at the time, but he shows the ball in the air to the Lancashire crowd.
He did, didn't he? Because he started cheering, didn't they? Thinking, oh, it's the ball, he's dropped the ball.
It's a good catch. Very clinical.
Joss Butler. We've seen one JB tonight. Tee off for his side in Johnny Bairstow, making 116. Lancashire need one of these players to fire. Need one of these players to try and match what Bairstow did.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, 237's way too many runs for them.
And they know that. And it wasn't just Bairstow that fired, Luxton fired as well, so there needs to be 2 partners in crime out there.
Well, can it be Salt and Butler? 2 of their biggest names and star players. 31 for 1, halfway through the 3rd over. It's a ridiculous 237 to win for Lancashire Lightning. Here is Sutherland. Right arm over the wicket, bowls to Butler. comes in towards Butler and just drops it into the onside. And there's no addition to the score.
Yeah, just has a look at the pace of the ball there, does Butler. It's a tall 6'4" Will Sutherland, who just gets that extra bit of bounce off the pitch, which did Keaton Jennings the previous delivery.
And again to Butler. Oh, that's played back towards him. He sticks his left hand out to try and take what would have been a pretty spectacular reaction catch. But beyond him. It's a dot ball, though, because it's fielded by Bess, who comes up from mid-off. It's a good start by Sutherland to Butler.
I think that's, yeah, the right length for Butler as well. We've seen him caught out a couple of times there recently. Anything Foley gets his hands through.
31 for 1. Sutherland to Butler. Down the pitch he comes. It's slashed away towards the leg side. And he gets his first run. 32 for 1. Lancashire. That's the end of the third over as well. The contrast between the start of, and this is not a criticism, it's just an observation. There's different ways of trying to do it, but you picked up on it straight away, Phoebe. There was a sense of kind of, right, trying to stay calm and not get too carried away, and rather than kind of be all frantic and trying to gung-ho. Yeah,
you can see there's a different type of energy out there in the middle to when Bairstow and Luxton were out in the crease in the power play. They were going at everything hard, and it meant balls went shy of fielders by 5-10 yards, but both Salt and Butler here just look like they know that boundaries are available, but they're willing to let themselves get in to give them a chance to go on and hit a big total.
Well, they're going at 10 and over at the minute, and it's not enough. They need to be going at 12s, really, but they can potentially catch up with that, but if they have wickets in hand. Here's Moriarty to Butler. Just a very nice cricket shot, that, isn't it? Just kind of leans into it and punches the ball away through wide mid-off and shuffles back for 2 more. 34 for 1 as we start the 4th over. Moriarty and his left arm spin from the James Anderson end. He starts from behind the non-striker. He's so wide, a really angled approach, and he runs across the umpire and in and bowls to Butler. Butler chips it over mid-on, easy as you like. 1 bounce and 4 to Butler. He moves to 7, and it's 38 for 1. If Lancashire can keep wickets in hand, and if they can tick around at 9, 10s and over, they're going to be in with half a sniff at the back end.
Oh, absolutely. And they've got the attack to do it, Scott.
Moriarty to Butler. That's cut away out towards backward point for a single. Butler moves to 8, 39 for 1. The problem is, when I say it like that, it just sounds so easy.
Simple game, cricket.
It is when you're sat up here, isn't it?
You've got to get 1 more run than the opposition.
236 before they get that extra run before going in front of Yorkshire. If they can. 236 to tie, of course. I'll take a tie. 39 for 1. Salt's back on strike. He's unbeaten on 10. Moriarty in, balls to Salt. That's an easy single through mid-on. Fielded back on the rope. And Salt's happy to oblige. He moves to 11. 40 for 1 now. 2 balls left of the 4th over. Brings Joss Butler back on the strike. Sun just starting to set out in the distance. The ground is pretty much full. There's a great atmosphere around the ground. We've seen some brilliant shots today. Lancashire fans hoping for more to come. Here's Butler dancing down the pitch towards Moriarty, and he drives it through straight mid-off for a single. Moves to 9, 41 for 1 now. Brings Salt back on strike. Salt looking over his shoulder towards the party stand. Taps the bat. Best of the keeper crouching down behind the stumps. Here's Moriarty around the wicket, balls to Salt. He's trying to heave it away, but hasn't really met too much contact with the ball. And that is the end of the over as well. 41 for 1, 4 overs gone. Salt on 11, Butler on 9. Live across BBC Radio Lancashire and on the BBC Sport website and app. Sports Extra 2 for this Roses fixture. We'll do it all again next Thursday at Headingley. But what lays ahead or lies ahead in front of these Lancashire supporters tonight is the toughest of all possible challenges, really. To score 237 runs from 120 balls to win a game of cricket. How far can they take it, Lancashire Lightning? These two, at least one of them, and perhaps in truth both of them, might have to shoulder the bulk of the work. Butler on 9. Matt Milnes comes back into the attack from the Statham end and bowls to Butler. Just pushed away into the offside, out towards cover. And there's no run. Dot ball to start the 5th.
No, we're seeing both Butler and Salt stay very stationary within their position in the crease. We saw a lot of lateral movement from Bairstow, trying to put Lancashire bowlers off their line and length, and it seemed to work really effectively.
41 for 1. Milnes in and bowls swatted out towards the leg side by Butler, out to the boundary. In fact, it crunches onto the boundary sponge, firmly pulled away by Butler. He gets 4 and moves to double figures, and Lancashire now are 45 for 1 in the 5th.
Yeah, lovely from Butler there. Just advances down the track, changes the length of the ball, and is able to work that and hit the gap through square and mid-wicket as mid-wicket comes straighter. So not your conventional cow, very, very straight mid-wicket on the deep.
Down the pitch, Butler comes, it's in the air. Bess is underneath it. Bess running into position and drops it. Lancashire needed that. Butler survives. Comes back for 2, 47 for 1.
Well, this is how hard the Lancashire attack need to go at it. Bess tracking back. It looked like he'd covered his ground well, but the ball just kept going and had to dive backwards over his shoulder in the end. One of the hardest catches in cricket, that.
He's made up so much ground to even be in a position, hasn't he, to try and take the catch. Plus it's Butler. Milnes in, bowls a low full toss to Butler, which is clipped away safely out towards the leg side for a single. Just Butler has been given a chance, a lifeline for Butler when he was on 15. Now moves to 16, 48 for 1. One of the biggest cheers of the night, that, when Bess put that down from Lancashire supporters.
We're just watching it back on the screen replay here, and he'd done a lot of the hard work at Bess. Just didn't manage to quite get his hands underneath the ball, just sprayed straight out of them.
Milnes to Salt. Salt pulls it down towards fine leg for 4. Not a great ball that, was it, Phoebe? 4 for Salt to bring up the Lancashire 50. 52 for 1.
No, it wasn't a brilliant ball at all from Milnes there. A drag down onto the leg stump, and Salt just works out lovely behind the bat. Knew exactly where his boundary option was there. Had some time to think about it as well. And starts to put a bit more momentum into the Lancashire camp.
Milnes sets off again. 52 for 1. Swatted away to the leg side. Oh, it's got beyond the fielder, Sutherland. It won't reach the boundary rope. And they will hustle back for 2. And that is the end of the 5th over. So it's 54 for 1. 1 over left of the power play. Yorkshire after 6 overs was 72 for 1. So unless there's something super special coming in these next 6 deliveries, they won't quite be up with Yorkshire, but they're hanging on in the game at the minute, aren't they, 6 overs in?
Absolutely, and I think the key here is the wicket column. They're only 1 down, and they've got batters that can come in and strike the ball at a rate. So they will always believe that they're in this game, and they'll make sure that they take it on all the way down to Tom Hartley, to Jack Blatherwick at the lower end of the batting lineup. But there's still Luke Wells to come. There's still Ashton Turner. There's still Chris Green. There's gas left in the tank here for Lancashire.
There is that, Phoebe. There is still a bit to go. At least he could do with hanging around for a bit more yet. Here's Sutherland into to Butler. Swacked away towards the leg side. Salt wanted a single. He was sent back, and rightly so. Fielded by Matt Milnes inside the circle at mid-wicket. Butler prowling around. He's walking out towards the... just a few paces towards square leg. Twirls the bat. Salt fiddling around with his pads at the non-striker's end. Yorkshire swapping the fielders around. 2 on the leg side boundary in front of the party stand. A deep square leg and a deep mid-wicket. Sutherland in, balls to Butler, down the pitch he comes and hammers it away for 4. Crunching that one over extra cover, out towards the boundary, out towards Lanky, who's over the rope in front of the hotel, the Lancashire mascot. He moves to 20, Jos Buttler, 58 for 1.
Well, that's one way to take on Sutherland's bounce and pace coming down the track. He digs it into the pitch, but Butler just puts his arms through that, so dismissive, up and over extra for 4. It's a wonderful strike.
Sutherland to Butler again, he goes high, he's in the air and he could be in bother again. Oh, they've not reached it. Diving attempt by Bess again. Butler comes back for more. Well, I suppose, has he got fingers to it? Yeah, I don't think he has. He's not a chance on, is it?
No, he covered a lot of ground there, did Bess. But Butler, as he put his hand through that, the angle of his bat just didn't quite come through nice and flush. And it was a bit of a slice up and over extra.
60 for 1, Sutherland bowls, Butler ramps it over the short fine leg fielder, down towards the boundary for about 1 bounce and 4 runs. 64 for 1.
Well, it requires a Butler knock, and it's the infamous ramp. We've seen it many times before. Don't think many players play it any better than Jos Buttler. I think it's the way Butler is almost so quiet at the crease, whereas when Bairstow was out there, he was gardening, he was chatting. There was so much going on that added to the showcase.
64 for 1, short, muscled away, leg side, over the fielder, bouncing out towards the boundary in front of the party stand, and up they go in the stand to celebrate 4 more. Well, while Butler's still there, Lancashire are still in the game. He moves to 30 from 16, and it's 68 for 1 now in the 6th.
Well, you said it'd take something special to take on Yorkshire's power play. They were 72 for 1 off their 6. Well, Lancashire, they're not going to be far behind. It's this over they've taken down from Sutherland after getting the victim of Keaton Jennings in his first over. He's missed out a little bit here, but Butler is taking him on. 68 for 1, 1 ball left in the power play.
And here it is, Sutherland into Butler, down the leg side, he'll have to bowl it again. Bairstow goes cartwheeling away to his left to take the catch, but wide call by the umpire. And he'll have to send it down one more time, will Sutherland. Butler on 30, Salt on 17. And the more Butler goes, the longer Butler goes, the more that the Lancashire supporters might just start to dream of something very special indeed. That's nudged away for a single this time by Butler. That is the power play. Remarkably, Phoebe, they were within 2 of Yorkshire. 70 for 1 Lancashire after 6, and Yorkshire was 72 for 1 after 6. There's nothing in it as it stands.
No, I think we're going to see a spectacular game of cricket here. It's clearly a wicket that enables batters to go out there and strike cleanly, to find the ropes. The outfield is flush, it's racing away to the boundary. It's obviously Yorkshire's game to win with that scoreboard, but the crowd are behind Lancashire here. Butler's off to a flying start. They've given him a chance by dropping him. And let's hope Butler takes full advantage of that.
Yes, put down by Bess, and then it looked for a second that maybe he might be caught again. Another catching chance presented towards Bess, but it was just beyond his reach. So a couple of moments where Butler's fearing the worst. Chauhan coming in from the Statham end, twirling his way in and bowling, and flicked away by Butler out towards the leg side for a single. So some leg spin. Spin could be a really big part of it. Yorkshire took Lancashire's spinners down tonight, with the exception of Green at the back end. Hartley went for runs, certainly. But one of these two try and target this Yorkshire spinner.
They absolutely did, and it was when 4 went out, we said, is this where the game changes? Is this where we see a momentum shift? But Yorkshire just kept finding the ropes.
In balls again, forced away by Salt through mid-off for 1 run. Takes him on to 19, 72 for 1.
There was a period between overs 8 and 10 that Lancashire got hit for 10 runs. Aside from that, there were boundaries left, right and centre.
Chauhan in, bowling, skipping forward is Butler, and in the end pushing the ball defensively back to the leg spinner. No run. 72 for 1 in the 7th.
So 1 or 2 overs doesn't change too much, but Lancashire can't let Yorkshire get on top here.
Down he comes again, Butler towards the leg spinner, and that's pushed away into the offside for a single. It's a very, very tight over so far, with Lancashire neck and neck with Yorkshire at this stage. Barely anything in it. 73 for 1. They're tracking Yorkshire's scoring rate so far. There's Chauhan over the wicket. Bowls, looking to slog sweep it. Salt trying to launch it out towards the leg side boundary, but there's no run. He's only gone for 3 so far.
It's been a good over, and the way that he's followed both Salt and Butler, so they've not been able to free their arms and access the boundary. It's been a wonderful over so far.
In to complete it. Balls wide, however. Just strayed a little down the leg side, so it gives Lancashire a bonus delivery to see if they can try and work it away from. He's targeting the leg side, is Salt. Well, has done for the last couple of deliveries. Where's he going to go with this? Chauhan in and bowling to Salt. Goes again leg side. Big swing. Kind of a half an appeal for an LBW. Not out, says the umpire. Goodness me, Phoebe Graham. Where's the game going? Butler and Salt are keeping Lancashire in it. 74 for 1 after 7, chasing 237 to win. And Kevin will come and join.
Well, it's a brilliant over there from Chauhan. Just 4 from it. So after an explosive power play, 70 for 1, 2 runs behind where Yorkshire was in the power play. They've just stemmed the run flow here, and Yorkshire are turning to spin.
And that really didn't go well for Lancashire. I mean, Chris Green and all that towards the end, but it wasn't really the best part of their game, was it? Around the wicket in bowl, start of the next over. This is pushed back to the bowler, who is Moriarty, bowling his 3rd over. His first 2 went for 17 runs. And the sun is setting away to our left-hand side, right on our eye line, but I don't care. We've got plenty to keep our attention off. Just to the right here in the middle of the park, that's going to be a single. Half stop there at extra cover. In fact, I think 2 of them need to come back really quickly, because there isn't 2 there. This pair, so important. I know what you're saying exactly about the depth of the batting, but there's something about this partnership which, if it stays there for a long time, could ask a few questions in the Yorkie mind, because that's what you've got to get into a little bit here as well, haven't you? You've got to get into their confidence.
Well, I think it's either of these players going on and scoring a big total.
Yeah.
Because even us in the commentary box, we were talking about Bairstow, but Luxton did such a good job.
Well, he did.
And he batted
he deserved
tremendously.
100, didn't he? Deserved 100. Oh, that's big. That's away on the leg side into the party stand. Some way up it as well for 6. Salt it is. Takes his score to 24, takes Lancashire to 85 for 1. Midway through this 8th over, the target 237.
But these are the games to see which players stand up on the big occasions. And so far, Yorkshire have done that, but there's 2 players at the crease right now that we know can perform under pressure with crowds. They've done it across the world, they've done it for the country, and they need to do it for Lancashire tonight.
Just a small hold up in play, somebody behind the bowler's arm. And we continue. Moriarty in. This is driven along the ground to long off by Salt for a single. Moves to 25, 82 for 1 in the 8th over. This would need to be Lancashire's highest successful run chase in this competition if they were to get this victory. Their highest score in the competition actually just achieved last month, 243 for 7 at Derby. It's a different sort of atmosphere in an event here, isn't it? I guess this is Butler again, just finds a single out there on the offside. You've got a lot of runs to get here. You've got to hope, if you're a Lancashire supporter, that because you know what you've got to get, you can somehow try and measure it a little bit more. But I mean, there's just so many runs. You've got to keep it going, basically. I'm not too sure how much measurement you can take. This one's in the air and up and over extra cover. That's going to be 4 runs. Nicely played. Do you know, you'll see this on the telly from time to time, or maybe even a lot. That's 4 for Salt, by the way, and it completes that over. It's now to 87 for 1 in the 8th over. But when you're actually at the ground, and you can hear in our headphones, you can hear the noise of that bat, and you can see what appears to be absolutely no effort from the batters. It's like they're switching on a switch, turning on a switch somehow. Do you know what I mean? It's just mesmerising.
Absolutely, and the way that Phil Salt bat swing comes through so naturally through that arc, and he's gone inside out there to go up and over extra cover, but it still just looked effortless in the way that he's struck the ball there.
Now this fella could cause problems. Is Chauhan. He's in and bowling, goes back deep into the crease. Now when I say cause problems, he could just go for 6 and over, and that's a problem.
That's a huge problem for Lancashire.
For 1. His first ball is a single, picked up by Butler, driven along the ground to long off.
We saw one good over from him, the previous over, going for 4, which then increased the run rate.
Next delivery, up and over, extra cover. I don't think that's got the legs to go to the boundary. They'll push hard for 2, and they'll have to settle for 2. Again, that's fine.
Absolutely. If one bowler can hold an end and go for 6s off 4 overs, all of a sudden the rest of the innings you've got to go at 15 and over. There's
a lot of chatter about this man, Chauhan. You know, Bashir, the Ahmeds, and a lot of chat about them, but this is a clever bowler. Down the leg side, helped on its way, mind you, here. That's going to be 1 bounce, couple of bounces into the rope. That's going to be 4. Just strayed, lost his line a little there, and you can't afford to do that when you're up against the likes of Salt and Butler. That is Salt on that occasion. He moves to 35 off 17 balls. I had to take a look at that for a second time. Really? Of 17 balls, it is a 4, and Lancashire 94 for 1 midway through the 9th over.
Yeah, wonderful hard sweep behind square.
Chauhan again, full, goes square this time. There's a man out there, bounces just in front of him. It's a single. Away to our right-hand side.
And they will be targeting that square boundary behind. Square leg is just behind. You've got a deep cow, long on, long off, cover.
Chauhan again from the Brian Statham end, runs away from us. Used to the feet here, but that's again just going to be a single out through mid-wicket. I mean, Butler tried to use his feet. He tried to be attacking, tried to go at him. And in the end, in the context of this game, it's almost a whimper. So much effort, but what to show for it? Well, a single, but Butler's the 37, 1 ball left of the over, 96 for 1. Next ball in, bowls, that's square, behind square. There's a man out there. Can he cut it off? Good sliding stop. This is good ground fielding from Yorkshire. They'll go through for 2, and the score will move up to 98 for 1 in the 9th over. We were talking in our first little stint together earlier about who wins what over. Well, for me, on both of those occasions, he hasn't taken a wicket. He's now gone, what, for 14 runs from his, no, 15 runs from his 2 overs. I'm saying you won both those overs. Against this talent, no? No, please disagree. I mean, I just think he's done a terrific job there.
He's done a terrific job, and he's bowled a really good over. What I've liked about Butler and Salt there is that they've still managed to go at 11 runs in that over. So despite it looking like Chauhan has won the over, they've still managed to eke out 11 runs there. So that's key when you're chasing down a total of 237. The 98 for 1 after 9. The required rate has gone up to 12.6. But the way that the two of these are batting and compiling an innings together, it's starting to look like it's possible for Lancashire.
Oh, I agree with you on that, yeah. Chauhan here himself just drops deep. He was at short fine. He goes deep now to fine leg on the boundary. Jordan Thompson. So this run rate required at 12.64. Start of this next over. Straight, firm, and 1 bounce 4. Brings up the 100 for Lancashire, 102 for 1 at the start of the 10th over. That's a boundary for Butler. He's on to 41 from 26 balls.
Well, that is so dismissive from Butler. 2 full from Thompson, and Butler just goes up and over mid-off. Doesn't move his feet. Beautiful bat swing. 1 bounce 4.
First over, by the way. A little bit of width. That square on the offside. It's got to be fielded cleanly. It is. So it's just 1. Well, that raced across the ground there, but there's a fielder out there. 103 for 1 in the 10th over.
I think it is showing if spin is bowled well, it's harder to face than seam. But these two are looking good. 38 from 19, Salt. Butler 42 from 27.
And it's Thompson back to his mark, and in he comes now. This is in the air. It's out towards the boundary. It could fall for a catch. This time it's taken. It's Salt who's gone. He's gone for 38, caught in the deep.
Well,
got a feeling that's Dom Bess again. It is. He's taken that one. He's dropped two tonight. There were difficult chances, but he's taken that one. He's held on to it. And Bess takes the catch, and that is the end of what is an important partnership. Butler is still there, but Salt's gone for 38.
Yeah, it's a good catch from Dom Bess in the deep. Salt takes it on down the ground, but it gets big on him. He doesn't get all of it. It goes high. Bess underneath it. Takes it well. His second catch of the night. He's dropped two. They've been tough chances, but the conventional ones he's taken. That's the first wicket for Jordan Thompson. But as the lineup continues...
Yeah, he's a man who's, of course, led the Scorchers to title after title in the Big Bash. Ashton Turner. I noticed the other night in Birmingham, actually, and rightly so. I mean, he's been the captain down there in the Big Bash. He was helping out with the captaincy, but just subtle changes in the field sometimes. He was, you know, not overly interfering. He's not the skipper. That's Keaton, of course, but you just see a field that maybe just 3 or 4 yards out of place and just put them in the right spot. But here, with the bat, he's got to perform here for Lancashire right now. Thompson into Turner. Good use of the wrist. He's a tall man. He works that away on the onside. They'll come back for two. They should make the two, and they do.
Yeah, brilliant piece of running there. You can see all the Yorkshire fielders are hugging the ropes, because for them, the most important thing is to stop the boundary. But with that comes the opportunity to run twos within the ring, and they run that really nicely.
So again, it's Thompson running in from the Sir James Anderson end, and that's close to the off stump. Not much room to work with there for Turner, so it's just a dot ball into the offside. Results already in the North Group. A Bears victory over the Rapids by 23 runs. The Outlaws have beaten Durham by 7 wickets. These are teams now that are closing in on Lancashire's position at the top. It's very, very tight there. It really is. And for Yorkshire, of course, in this match, we're in last chance saloon for them. They've got to win basically all their matches. And they perhaps will do so tonight. We wait and see. A slower ball from Jordan Thompson. Again, they'll go through for a single. Good variation from Thompson. He may be on his way down the old M1, actually, from Leeds, you'd probably say, across to Birmingham. But he's still putting it in here. You can see as he'll enjoy. You said he'll miss nights like tonight. Thompson has taken that 1 for 8 from his first over. 106 for 2. The target 237. Like that over from him, though.
Absolutely. Well, they call him the Big Show because he enjoys moments like tonight and enjoys bowling the big overs. And these are the best games in domestic cricket. You've got a full house here at Emirates Old Trafford, Rose's match, and you don't get much bigger or better than this in domestic cricket. So he'll miss these evenings.
As things stand, there are 3 teams at the top of this North Group, all on 28 points. Durham, Lancashire, Lightning and Bears. Lightning, of course, if they win tonight, can go up to 32 for above. Chauhan continues to bowl. Reversed here from Turner, but square on the leg side for a single. The Outlaws moved up to 24 points. They're just 4 points behind. Gosh, to get consistency in this competition is unbelievably difficult, it seems. 107 for 2, 130 from 59 balls. That's the equation here for Lancashire Lightning. They could go top if they win, and they're not out of it. Of course they're not out of it. A lot of hard graft and work to come there to do that. Again, it's a single. Out to the man on the boundary. One more. The sun is just thankfully dipped just behind the point there. Thank you. We'd love to see you again tomorrow, but you've done your work for today. Thank you. 107 for 2 we are.
Well, the other thing that comes into count in times like this
Joanne bowls on the leg stump, dealt on his way. Umpire White gets out of the way. It's a single. It's a square leg for Turner. He moves to 5, 109 for 2 in the 11th.
His net run rate. So Lancashire lost to Bears on Wednesday and then went third in the group, or second in the group, to Durham on net run rate.
They did. They dropped a place. Same points. This is driven along the ground for Sutherland, coming up from our right-hand side. Again, it's a single. 110 for 2.
So they can't stop at any point chasing down this total, because net run rate will be so important when it comes.
Indeed. I want to take bowls. Just a little away from the off. Turner's onto it, but again, just
so far.
well, got some encouraging news, I think, for Lancashire Thunder in terms of the results, and a bit of a surprise one up there at Durham. As we see Cham bowling, this is in the air, away to our right-hand side. It's going to go in between the two fielders. One bounce and it's a 4. I thought maybe just carries over for a 6, a much-needed 6 it would be, but it is a boundary over mid-wicket there. 4 more to the total, 115 for 2. It's now 122 from 54 balls. Just to say that Durham women have beaten Hampshire Hawks women by 5 wickets. The Bears women away to Somerset have won by 22 runs, which, if I have a look at this table, see if it's been updated, it means that the Bears have moved into second place. This is the Bears women on 32 points. Surrey with the win earlier today over the Blaze, way ahead on 41. The top 3 qualify, okay, for finals day. Second place, Bears women on 32. The Blaze on 31. Thunder at the moment on 25. Victory over the weekend takes them up to 29. They've got a game in hand over the Bears, and the Hawks have now, well, they've dropped to 5th on 21 points. Well, that's looking tight as well, isn't it, to try and get through the top 3. Next ball, it's a slower ball, which is worked away here by Turner for the men's team. And it's a single for Turner, 16 for 2 in the 12th over. So much to think about here, but at least one result that's gone the way of Lancashire tonight in the women's blast.
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think it changes too much for our final 3 games. Win 3 out of 3 to put us in with a chance to qualify, so it's still a lot to do for us over the weekend and the next week.
Up in the air, it's gone a long way up and it's cleared the rope. It's a 6 over wide, long on. I'd look at the trajectory initially of these balls and I'm thinking, has that got too much height on it and not enough distance? That did have the distance.
Well, that brings up Joss Butler's 50, 54 from just 31 deliveries. A wonderful strike down the ground. And we're going to have to see something special from him tonight. 115 required from 52 balls. But he's just taken Jordan Thompson downtown.
It's his 92nd 50-plus score in T20s. He's gone on to score 800s. That one is worked away out to mid-wicket by Butler for a single. They are spread right out on the boundary here. There's only one show in town tonight, okay? Only one show in town, and it is here. There's only one show in town where you didn't have to go and get another mortgage, that's for certain.
Yeah, forget Oasis.
This is where it's happening. 123 for 2, 114 from 51 balls. Turner on 7 from 7. Butler at the other end has moved to 55 off 32 balls. Thompson turns now, comes running in towards Turner. Again, for me, a slower ball, slight misfield, which will allow them. I think there's probably always going to be one there because their intention would have been to get one. I think it's Malan. They're just a slight fumble, but I don't think that's really cost too much.
Yeah, he's bowled that well as Thompson. He's bowling into the wicket and slow. And both Butler and Turner are struggling to access a boundary through that slower pace.
Just need to remind you, this is Yorkshire's 236 for 6, the highest score in a Roses T20 match. Next ball, bowled. Oh, he's got a top edge on this. It's a chance for the keeper to take the catch, Bairstow, and he does. And it's Butler who's gone for 55. Tried to launch it away over mid-wicket. Didn't time it right. high into the sky. And he, of course, said, hold on, everybody, back away. My name's Johnny Bairstow. I've scored 116 tonight, and I'm going to take this catch. And boy, he has.
Yeah, it's well bowled by Jordan Thompson, varying his pace and goes quicker there to Butler. Butler tries to take it on into the party stand, but top edge. Good catch from Johnny Bairstow. Makes up a lot of ground, but with the gloves. Says it's mine, makes sure it's his.
His response isn't to his teammates or anybody, it's to the party stand.
It'll mean a lot to that, will Jordan Thompson.
By the way, I know this is the third heat wave of the summer, but did you get the email to say that everybody's to come in a white shirt tonight? Have you seen the crowd? Have you seen our co-commentator? He got the email telling everybody the message to come. It's all white everywhere. The shirt's all white. It's a beautiful sight out there, I guess, but I've come in my usual dark navy blue. That'll never change. I don't care what the temperature is.
Well, it's not all over yet. Luke Wells joins Turner at the crease.
And he faces this ball with Thompson coming around the wicket to the left-handed Wells. Good Yorker from Thompson. Worked away to mid-wicket. And one run to finish off a very successful over. Look at this from Thompson. 2 for 17. Big wickets. Maybe that's 2 for 18. I don't think the board is ticked over there. 2 for 18 from 2 overs. Now it's 125 for 3 after 12 overs. Jordan Thompson. Great performance from Jordan tonight.
Yeah, brilliant performance, and 2 big wickets there in Phil Salt and Joss Butler. And he's got them through varying his pace. He's gone back of the hand, pace off, and then done both of them with his pace on delivery. And as they were trying to take him downtown, both candidates top edge of the bat. Good catch from Dom Best, good catch from Johnny Bairstow. And they're the wickets you need to stem the flow of runs in this run chase.
This is Dom Best going to bowl for the first time tonight. He's dropped 2, but he's taken 1 in terms of catches. They were tricky catches, really, that he put down. Did well on the 3rd. Now he's bowling, and he's bowling to Luke Wells, who's on 1. Comes around the wicket. And that's played out into the offside for a single from Wells, so he will move to 2. Another result in the Steelbacks have beaten the Derbyshire Falcons. There's been a lot of runs scored tonight. None of them would be as exciting, but a lot of runs have been scored. That was the Steelbacks chasing down. Well, no, sorry. The scores: Falcons 224 for 6, Steelbacks 237 for 4. So the Steelbacks win by 13 runs in that victory over the Derbyshire Falcons. I talked about consistency. They won the first 6, the Steelbacks, lost the next 5, but they've won again tonight. So guess what? They're another team at the top of the table. This one is driven just for a single on the offside. If we take a look at the table, it now shows, I believe, that there are 4 teams on 28 points. Lightning, of course, could still go to 32. But it's Durham, Lightning, Bears and Steelbacks all on 28 points. They haven't all played the same number of games. Bears and Steelbacks have played 12 matches now, 1 ahead of the others. Oh, that's right into the pads. Darted in on Wells. I think the spinners have been really clever here tonight for the Yorkies. I really do. 127 for 3 in the 13th over.
They haven't given Lancashire the opportunity to settle and change the lines, the lengths, the pace of the ball.
Messi in again, in the air, away to our left-hand side. Is it going to clear the field away? Yes, it is. Let's see what the signal's going to be. It's a 6. Just loose side of it, just to our left over the gantry. Let's have a look at it on the replay. He lifted that one away, did Wells. Oh, the catch was taken by the wrong side of the boundary. Well done, sir. Is that Sutherland down there doing that? Or Luxton? Or neither of them? Turn and show us your number, my friend.
It might be Wharton, is it? Or Revis?
Next ball, it's in the same area. This could be a catching opportunity, though. Comes in low. Oh, he's taken it. It's an absolute stunner.
Now that is a wonderful catch.
Wharton has taken that catch. And I'm not surprised he's celebrating like that. I mean, that is right down there. Comes running in, times it so well. He's the one that actually the previous delivery had taken the catch by the wrong side of the boundary. That's now 4 down, 133 for 4. in his 13th over. Well, they really have brought their A game, really, haven't they, some of these? Oh, what a wonderful catch. Phoebe, your thoughts on that catch?
That is absolutely outstanding. Running in, full stretch dive, hands straight in front, and he gets under the ball and almost does the worm in landing. Absolutely incredible. A wonderful piece of work. Big celebrations. And Yorkshire have turned up tonight. They've silenced the crowd here at Emirates Old Trafford.
They have indeed. Although I have to say, it's slightly eerie. You know, when we're in this room and we're looking at and we're hearing everything in front of us, it is almost chaotic. It is brilliant. What a great atmosphere. Just pop your head out through the back of the door there into the absolute silence. It's like a haven, a heaven of silence, so calm. It's anything but out there in the middle of the moment. That's Luke Wells who's gone. So Turner and Jones now, the men in charge, 104 from 43 balls, 6 wickets standing. And again, Best has struck this time as a bowler, and the catch taken by Watt. Next ball is pushed into the offside, but for no run. Oh, this is tricky. But again, at the end of that over, that makes it 42 balls, 104, and 133 for 4. 13 overs gone. And Best has only gone for 8 runs as well from that over, including a wicket.
Yeah, brilliant piece of fielding there by James Wharton. Like you say, the ball just clears the rope, the previous delivery, and one-handed tracking back, he catches it on the other side of the rope. But he certainly covers some ground and takes an unbelievable full stretch dive forward.
Indeed so. So, next ball, into the pads this time, looking to sweep is Turner. Joanne having swapped ends. He's now bowling from the far end. How many overs has he bowled? This is his 4th and final.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4th and final over.
He's
24
bowled,
runs from his first 3.
Yeah, he's bowled brilliantly, and they've brought him on early to really stem the flow of runs as early as possible.
He's into Turner. Turner will work that all the way through mid-wicket for 1. A steady 1. Steady ain't good enough, lads, I'm afraid, from Lancashire's point of view. It needs to be explosive here now. 134 for 4.
He's gone at 7 and he's bowled the chunk of his overs at Salt and Butler. He's been outstanding tonight. The spin for Yorkshire has been the difference in the 2 games.
Another result in the South Group. I'll tell you that in a moment. Joanne in bowls. Lifted, but has it been lifted far enough? It certainly has towards the point. It's a 6 off the bat of Jones. He is very capable, but he needs more. Just his 2nd ball, he moves to 6, and the score moves to 140 for 4 now in this 14th over. The target, 237. Essex have beaten Sussex Sharks by 6 wickets. Good for Essex, that, because they're right at the bottom. They've had a dreadful campaign in the South Group. People say about playing for pride, but actually I'm not too sure it's the pride. It's a little bit more than that. But well done. They're turning up, and they're still producing. It's worked for no run, extra cover, no run. Somerset have won by 5 wickets. Well, it's been the story of the competition for them, but that's a bit of a setback to the Spitfires, who, like Sussex Sharks, were just nestled below in those qualifying positions. Victories for Somerset and for Essex then in the South Group. Jaffa Chohan in. Oh, and stumped. Wait for, yeah, confirmation. He's on his way. I'm a little confused. He didn't look at his square-leg colleague there before he raised the finger. Let's have a look at this. Oh, well, caught. It's been caught, not stumped. Off the outside edge of the bat. Well, Jones gives me a bit of a confusing picture there, but he's gone, and it is 5 wickets down, 140 for 5. He came out of his crease, swung at it, missed it. Well, he didn't miss it. He got something on it, beg your pardon. He comes out. Well, that's off his pad, isn't it? What are you saying about that?
Well, it doesn't look like it's come off bat. It looks like it's come off his hip. Bairstow's taken it, gone for the big appeal of caught behind, but could have also gone for the stumping, and he would have been taken there.
That's what I thought he'd done. And he's been given out. He gave him out without looking at the square leg umpire. So he's got no idea as to whether he's given him out caught behind, you know, and he got nothing on it. That's my reading of it.
I think it's come off the hip, being given caught behind.
So Jones is walking. Sorry to interrupt, but Jones is walking. He's walking because he thinks he's been stumped. I think. Do you know what I mean? He hasn't even looked.
That's why he looked back at the umpire, and the umpire gave him out from the bowler's end. So the umpire definitely gave him out caught behind.
Well, Lanky don't need that sort of luck tonight, but it happens. 140 for 5, 97 from 37 balls. And it's Green who's now come out. Oh, it's a wide, leg-side wide. Could this be the night for Chris Green? We wait and see. Got one ball left of the 14th over. And it's 141 for 5. The target being 237. Next ball, defended. Defended by Green, back up to the bowler. 14 overs gone, 141 for 5. Am I being a bit harsh? That was a good defence. Anyway, 237 is the target. Turner and Green, can they do it? Well, let's see. I mean, we knew he was going to take something special.
It certainly
will. Joined
will.
by Scott to see it through to the close.
And as they say, it's not over until the fat lady sings. They need 96 from 36 balls, so they need something special here. The crowd are still singing here at Emirates Old Trafford.
You know when the DJ thinks the game's over, when they play this song with still with 6 overs to go. That tells its own story. Yeah, let's play before everyone leaves early.
Well, Turner can hit the ball, Green can too, but they're going to have to go hard here. 3 a ball, essentially.
Well, we've seen some crazy stuff in T20 cricket, but if Lancashire win this from here, this might be one of the great moments in T20 cricket. We shall see. As you say, there's 2 batters that can certainly wallop it, but they're going to keep walloping it. 141 for 5, and that's turned out towards the leg side by Ashton Turner for a single. Turner moves to 11, 142 for 5, 95 to win from 35.
Yeah, they need to find the boundary, and they have come out reasonably calmly, have the Lancashire attack. And it's when they've been trying to hit out and strike the ball firmer. Butler, Salt, Wells and Jennings all caught by going for the big boundary options. It's left them tangled up now.
Mills in to Green. Just nudged away down the ground. They'll scamper through for the first, trying to desperately come back for 2, but 1s, even 2s aren't enough for Lancashire Lightning. But maybe there's a degree of trying to narrow the margin of defeat as well, because it is pretty tight at the top of the North Group, and run rate could be a deciding factor. You don't want to lose heavily. Try and narrow the margin if they can. Milnes in, bowls, back of length, pulled by Turner, out towards the square leg boundary for 4. Nicely played by Ashton Turner. 4 pushes him to 19 not out.
Yeah, it's a lovely strike from Turner. Just manages to thread the gap between square leg and cow. And just baseball strikes that along the ground for 4 runs.
So they put the score on too quickly there for me. He moves to 15 with that, 147 for 5. Milnes in, bowls, back of a length, muscled again, leg side. That'll be 4 more. That's back-to-back boundaries. Short from Milnes, hammered away by Turner. Now he moves to 19. That brings up the 150 for Lancashire, 151 for 5.
Yeah, well, we need to see more of this. Turner punishing the short ball from Milnes, who's gifted him 2 similar deliveries, and Turner's been able to put those both away.
Milnes back in to Turner. Oh, that's clever. That'll be 4 more. He scooped it down towards the boundary behind, over the keeper's head. So 3 on the spin for boundaries for Ashton Turner. He moves to 23 not out. 155 for 5, 82 required to win, 31 balls to get them.
Well, that's really good batting by Turner. 2 balls dug into the pitch put away for 4. Turner was anticipating that ball to be fuller, ended up getting that on the full and ramping it over fine leg for 4.
155 for 5. Milne's in again, he goes again, but for the ramp, that is. Doesn't quite get it right that time, and through to to Johnny Bairstow. That's the end of the over. 155 for 5, needing 82 to win from 30 balls. Turner on 23, Green on 1. Live from Old Trafford in Manchester for the T20 Roses fixture on BBC Radio Lancashire, where Yorkshire made a huge score of 236 for 6. Johnny Bairstow with an innings of kind of genuine world-class talent, making 116, 90 not out for Will Luxton, and that has set Lancashire what would have been a record-breaking run chase. And it looks almost certainly to be beyond them, but while Butler was there and Salt was going and maybe in with a chance, these two are trying to drag them somewhere closer if they can. Here's Jordan Thompson to Chris Green. That's a lovely ball to start with. He deceives Green, swings and misses through to Bairstow, and the 16th over is a dot ball to start with.
Yeah, he's a good trickster when it comes to T20 cricket. Is Jordan Thompson. Pace off Yorker does Chris Green with that delivery, and he loves occasions like this.
In comes Thompson, balls to Green. Slashed out towards the leg side boundary. Good work in front of the party stand. Relay work, good fielding, and then the throw comes in and the run back for 2. And Green moves on to 3, 157 for 5, 80 to win from 28. And, decent stuff this from Jordan Thompson. What has been so far a brilliant night by Yorkshire. They've been excellent. The batting from Bairstow, the bowling clubbed back down the ground by Green. Oh, there's a fumble. Just as I said, everything's been excellent so far. They've quite picked up cleanly on the long off boundary. So 2 in the end for Chris Green. He moves to 5, 159 for 5.
Well, yeah, they've got a clear briefing task of Yorkshire. They need to win every single game left remaining to give them a chance of qualifying for finals day, and that's with results going in their favour. So they've certainly gone out the blocks hard tonight, turned up to the big occasion, and 2 wonderful knocks that have taken Lancashire out of the game.
Thompson back in to Green again. They'll scamper through for I think a leg bye rather. So Thompson tried to side-foot the ball towards the stumps at the striking end, trying to run Ashton Turner out. Oh, he's got an open goal, 2 or 3 yards out. He's put it wide. What a sitter. 160 for 5.
And wide of the left post is Thompson there.
Yeah. No striker. He can't pretend to be a striker now. Put that one wide of the post. 77 off 26. As Kevin was going through the league table before, it's
tight at the top, isn't it?
Very tight, yeah.
Lancashire were running away with it a couple of games, but 2 back-to-back defeats changes the position, and with Durham and Yorkshire to play next week.
Thompson in, balls clubbed down the ground. That'll be 4 for Chris Green. For Ashton Turner. He moves on to 27, 164 for 5. Yeah, Lancashire's remaining 3 games. Sunday here against Durham, who are the current leaders. Back to Headingley for the return fixture against Yorkshire, and then to Trent Bridge to take on the Notts Outlaws. So 3 very, very tricky games for Lancashire Lightning. As Thompson's in to Turner. That's pushed away through straight mid-on for a single. And at the end of the over it is. It's very decent stuff by Jordan Thompson. 165 for 5. And 72 from 24 is the equation. But it's going to be close, isn't it, for Lancashire Lightning to qualify. Both Lancashire's men's and women's side are trying to reach finals day in the Blast this season, and well, it's probably going to go right the way down to the final group game for both Thunder and for Lightning.
Yeah, definitely. Down to the wire across both men's and women's Vitality Blast, and that's what you want to see in the competition, is teams beating other teams. Yorkshire 3 from 10, Lancashire 7 from 10. On paper, it was Lancashire's game tonight, but Johnny Bairstow, Will Luxton came out with some venom.
Yes.
But Sutherland has been taken down in his 2 overs, 1 for 24.
This is played out towards the onside in the end, but Sutherland comes back into the attack, and maybe a leg by that it is.
They're needing 18 and over at Lancashire, so they won't call it quits yet. You've seen how well these two can strike the ball. Couple of sixes, and you're up with the rate. Not too positive, Scott?
You've always remain positive, Phoebe. Absolutely. Sutherland's in and bowling, and Green trying to create a way to find some runs and find a boundary, but in the end it's just a single. Green moves on to 7, 167 for 5. Brings Turner back on strike.
Well, they know they need 3 boundaries and over. That's basically the equation. There's some loud cheering. I think the big snake in the crowd.
Short and wide, sorry, full and wide, and hammered in the air by Turner, bouncing in front of Thompson, who comes up from the boundary, and they'll hustle back for 2 for Ashton Turner. He moves on to 30, 169 for 5. Yeah, we've got the beer snake, haven't we, that's been formed here.
Taken away by security. A few boos from the crowd. Managed to get about probably a 20-metre snake before they found it, the security.
Good effort. 169 for 5. Sutherland bowls, back of a length, swing and a miss from Turner. And through it goes to the keeper. There's no run. There's quite a few in fancy dress in the party stand tonight. Seen a few Where's Wally's, for example. There's there was someone dressed as a butcher, and he was chasing some chickens. that was happening at one stage as well. So just a kind of regular Friday night out. 169 for 5. Sutherland back into Turner. Pulled to the leg side boundary. Green wanting 2. There's a fumble actually on that leg side, so it allows Turner to come back for a second. He moves on to 32, 171 for 5.
Well, it's been a good over from Sutherland. His own real brief is just don't go for a boundary this over. If he doesn't go for a boundary, it's almost Yorkshire's game.
171 for 5. Final ball of the 17th. Hit down the ground by Turner, in between the legs of Green at the non-strikers end. Throw comes in from Don Bess. Is an excellent throw from the boundary. He's put the dive in, but he's safely made it home. Has he? No, he's run him out. He's run him out. I thought he made it home. Actually, Green thinks he's gone. The umpire is going to refer it upstairs to the TV umpire, but the reaction from Green tells its own story. He knows he's gone. They'll confirm from the TV umpire, but Green is heading back towards the dugout, and Lancashire will lose their 6th wicket. Green run out. Good work by Don Bess down below us.
Yeah, he's had a good day out in the field as Don Bess. He's taken 2 very good catches, dropped 2 chances, but also covered a lot of ground, and it's a good piece of work by the bowler. Actually, it's a 1 bounce throw. He picks it up low, and he's run out by about 3 feet is Chris Green, and is a quick runner between the wickets, but even Chris Green can't make it back for that. 66 from 3 overs, 22 and over.
I think we can call it quits at that. 172 for 6. As Jack Blatherwick heads out to join Ashton Turner. Well, they're probably going to have to go to Yorkshire and potentially win that game, Lancashire. Of course, they will help their cause massively on Sunday if they can beat Durham here. That will ease a little bit of pressure going into the final 2 games, which are both away from home. Yorkshire and Notts Outlaws, so a win on Sunday is almost a must, really, for Lancashire Lightning. There's very little margin for any mistakes now, with 4 teams all at level on points in the top 4. plus the 2 just outside those top 4 positions, a win away in Leicestershire and the Notts Outlaws. So it's pretty tight at the top. 172 for 6. 18 balls left. Here's Jordan Thompson. Jack Blatherwick's the new batter, and that's just nudged away into the onside for a single. Blatherwick off the mark straight away.
Well, it'd be awesome to go to Headingley in a week's time, less than a week's time, next Thursday, and do exactly what Yorkshire have done to Lancashire here. Nothing beats winning away from home on big occasions like this, silencing the crowd. So they'll have a job on their hands to keep the Western Terrace quiet, but we've seen them do it before.
Yep, we'll be there for you next Thursday as well. There'll be, I think it's the same 3. It's me and Phoebe and Kevin next Thursday at Headingley. There's Turner wallops it down the ground. It's caught at long off. But he's made that look so routine. Because he knew he was right by the boundary rope, and he's pushed it up in the air, stepped back over the rope, then hops back in field and takes a very, very smart catch. Terrific work by Sutherland, and Yorkshire in style with a bit of swagger are wrapping it up here pretty impressively, and that's as a result has caused a couple of thousand people to say I'm off. 173 for 7 now.
Well, they're not looking like a team that's lost 7 games in this Vitality Blast at the moment at Yorkshire. This will be their 4th win out of 11. But you can see the confidence emitting in the group. And I think it just shows that it doesn't matter what momentum you have going into this game. Both teams off the back of a loss. It's an occasion game. And maybe they need to start playing every game like it's a big occasion. Because they probably would eke more runs out of Johnny Bairstow in that sense, because he loves to turn up. But it's a different day out when you're Derby away.
Tom Hartley's the new batter. Hartley swings it away towards the point boundary for a single. 174 for 7. Well, a win for Yorkshire. I mean, Yorkshire can't qualify. I mean, they can, but they just need too much to go in their favour, don't they? Even if you win every game.
Stranger things have happened,
well,
Scott.
You're quite right, Phoebe Graham. 174 for 7. Blatherwick's on strike. Here's Milnes. And balls to Blatherwick. That's hammered firmly down the ground. One bounce out towards the boundary rope, and I think it may have gone for 4. It has. There's a pretty valiant effort coming round from long on, trying to push the ball back beyond the rope, but it has gone for 4, as it was signalled indeed by Don Bess.
Don Bess losing equipment in every piece of fielding that he does at the moment. Hat gone, towel gone, trousers nearly gone.
Short from Milnes as Blatherwick swings, and then somehow it's got past Bairstow and down towards the boundary, and it's gone for 4 byes. It was banged in short. Blatherwick swung for it, he missed it. Bairstow couldn't. Oh, he did take it, Bairstow. He fumbled it. It's gone between his gloves. It's gone for 4 byes. Or sometimes you say byes are hard done by when they're allotted to the keeper. Not on that occasion.
No, that was poor from Johnny Bairstow, but he's laughing about it. It doesn't matter in the context of the game. 55 required from 13.
Milnes to Blatherwick, swings and misses, and through to Bairstow, who does this time take it without too much fuss. It's the end of the Oval, 182 for 7.
Well, we saw harsher wides being given in the first half there, just inside the tram lines. But it just shows on nights when things just aren't quite going your way. Even those wide line Yorkers and wide line plans seem to be going Yorkshire's way tonight. 55 from 12, it's still possible, but it requires a lot. Looks a very disheartened Lancashire dugout as they pan on the telly.
There's Jordan Thompson in from the Statham end, clubbed down the ground by Hartley. just for a single. Hartley moves on to 2. And the score moves on to 183 for 7.
It's amazing how much the fans are still loving it, despite being completely out of the game. Those 4 byes through Johnny Bairstow's legs, they went absolutely crazy for.
Thompson balls. Blatherwick this time was able to work it out towards the leg side boundary for a single. Well, they've come to it for a good night out. The weather's good, and they've come to try and enjoy the evening. It's not gone the way for the home side, but they have seen one of the great T20 innings in domestic cricket.
Absolutely, you'd be happy if you've seen that knock from Johnny Bairstow. A few are leaving now, but
Thompson to Hartley. Hartley goes out towards the party stand, who have retained their cheer and been in excellent voice through the course of the whole thing. Hartley moves on to 3, 185 for 7.
But there's been some excellent cricket and ball striking on show tonight. And that first half from Luxton and Bairstow was just absolutely fantastic.
Thompson, short, swings as Blatherwick and misses, and through to Bairstow. Good short ball by Jordan Thompson, who's picked up 2 wickets for 31 this evening. 185 for 7. 8 balls left. 8 balls remaining of the game, the outcome of which we know. It's a win for Yorkshire. They've lost 7. Lancashire have won 7. Switched around tonight. Oh, Blatherwick goes after this one. High out towards the mid-wicket boundary and all the way for 6. Whoa, he crunks that one away, did Jack Blatherwick. He moves to 12, 191 for 7.
Yeah, he got all of that, did Jack Blatherwick. A great strike. And actually, every strike counts. As you say, it's tight at the top of the table. And net run rate will come into this in the last few games, the Vitality Blast. So a brilliant strike.
191 for 7. Thompson bowls again. He tries to swing again, does Blatherwick. I think a little inside edge onto his pad. And they go hurtling through for a single, and he's limping a bit as well, a bit like Keaton Jennings was a little earlier on. That's the end of the over, so we're down to the final 6 balls of the match. Yorkshire have been brilliant tonight. They've just had a day out, haven't they? Everything's, well, they've had Bairstow come to the party. Luxton was magnificent. And in the end, as often is the case, these big scores are just too much to chase, aren't they? But they've had a great night, Yorkshire. They've been terrific. Yeah,
they've been brilliant. And I think that's the thing, even when you've got Butler and Salt going, they need to keep going. And it's that pressure of knowing that they've got to keep scoring boundaries. And that's what eventually won Yorkshire the wickets.
Here we go, final over. Blatherwick swings. He'll get 4 down towards wide third man. And it's worth a swing because they can try and narrow the margin of defeat. It might yet still be important when it comes to the qualification. Blatherwick moves on to 17, 196 for 7. 41 from 5 balls.
But I think those drop catches for Lancashire will prove costly.
Yes.
They dropped Luxton in the 50s.
It's Sutherland to Blatherwick. Muscle, leg side, out towards the boundary. 6! Great little cameo here at the back end of the innings. He's a strong boy, Jack Blatherwick, and he's walloped that away for 6. 23 to him, and that's 200 up for Lancashire.
Well, this is a great little knock from Blatherwick. 17 from 9. And all the runs count here. You might think you're not playing for anything, but with the table so tight, net run rate will come into it. So to close this gap in the next 4 balls is important.
Sutherland bowls. Blatherwick swings again. Oh, that's the biggest one of the night. That's in towards the point. That might well be the biggest hit of the evening, I reckon. And we've seen some big blows this evening. And that is right up there. Blatherwick to 29 not out. 208 for 7.
It's a great strike from Blatherwick. It's awesome to see him come in here and strike like this. This is what you want from your number 9.
I think it was dropped in the crowd, wasn't it? It was heading up towards the balcony of the point. Just dipped at the last minute and then put down in the crowd. Sutherland bowls. Blatherwick goes again. Pulls it. 4 more. 1 bounce over the rope. Brilliant end to the game by Jack Blatherwick. This really is an impressive knock. 33 from 12 now. 212 for 7, and well, it's just helping take away the sense of a hammering, really, for Lancashire.
Absolutely, it'll make a big difference, this. 25 required from 2 balls, but just by making that gap smaller, so important.
Sutherland bowls Blatherwick from a full-length delivery just outside off stump. He's able to punch it firmly away through mid-off. And I suspect, well, that will be it for him for the evening, because that's the penultimate ball of the game. So Blatherwick's 34 not out from 13. So 1 ball left. Yorkshire are in a position which doesn't happen too often in these Roses fixture, whether either for Yorkshire or Lancashire. They know the game's won before the final ball. Into Hartley, hits it down the ground, bouncing up towards the pavilion, and it's gone for 4. Well, it's given the Lancashire supporters something to cheer at the back end of the game. Blatherwick and Hartley have hit some boundaries, but the win's confirmed for Yorkshire. 19-run victory in this Roses fixture. It could have been an awful lot worse had Lancashire not found some runs at the back end of their innings. But credit where it's due, Johnny Bairstow, with support from Will Luxton, have put together an absolutely outrageous innings and partnership that has won Yorkshire the game, Phoebe. Backed up in the field, obviously, by the bowlers.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant day for Yorkshire today. They were outstanding with the bat in hand and came out with some intent. Johnny Bairstow was outstanding. Standing ovation from the Lancashire crowd he got when he got out. 116 from 54 balls. And almost his supporting act that went a little bit unnoticed was Will Luxton, 90 from 46. 22 years of age, emerged through the pathway this year and has had an outstanding season, and that just adds to his start to the season. A brilliant display of batting from Yorkshire. Lancashire just couldn't quite back it up. 217 for 7. The run chase just got too big for them throughout the innings, but they've got chance to get 1 over on Yorkshire next Thursday at Headingley. The Roses match returns, so we'll look forward to the replay of this match.
Well, it's a rarity that you get games back-to-back in these fixtures. You normally get one and then there's 2 or 3 weeks or even longer, maybe a month before the next one. The fact that there's such a quick succession and they are back-to-back Roses games means that this defeat, which will be hurting a lot for the Lancashire players, won't it, Phoebe? It means that they've got a real chance in just a few days' time to kind of set the record straight.
Absolutely. They go into the final 3 games of the Blast and they become must-win games for Lancashire. The table is super tight at the top now, and after 2 defeats back-to-back, they'll be looking to change that fortune on Sunday against Durham. But a wonderful effort from Yorkshire. It's one of those days where momentum doesn't really mean anything. It's who shows up on the day, and it was Johnny Bairstow who was outstanding, struck the ball phenomenally, and is a big game player and showed that today.
Indeed he did. This is how it looks for Lancashire Lightning, giving themselves the best possible chance they could to chase a huge score down. Salt's 38, Jennings 19. Of course, so much rested on Butler, who made 55 in the end, caught by Bairstow as he top-edged a pull shot. Turner's 33. But it was too much for Lancashire, despite Blatherwick just limiting the sense of the damage done, making that impressive 34. The bowling figures for Yorkshire, and a couple of wickets for Thompson, one for Chauhan, one for Sutherland and one for Milnes, one for Bess as well. So a very solid all-round performance with the ball by Yorkshire. They were there, weren't they, Phoebe? They were with it. They were at the halfway point. It was game on.
It absolutely was game on at the halfway point. They were like for like in the power play, like for like at the 10 over stage, but the difference was how Johnny Bairstow and Will Luxton took on the boundary when 5 fielders were out in the deep. So yeah, it was a fantastic effort from Lancashire, but you could just see those wickets really stem the flow in the run chase, and as soon as they got Butler and Salt, it felt like it was game over.
Indeed it was, and in the end it was game over, and Yorkshire have run out winners in this Roses fixture. So congratulations to them. It makes it very, very tight at the top of the North Group table. Just to recap that with the results from earlier on this evening. In fact, I'll run through the scores, or at least the results. I won't go through the full details. But in the North Group today, victories for the Birmingham Bears, beating the Worcestershire Rapids by 23 runs. The Northamptonshire Steelbacks have beaten Derbyshire by 13 runs. Notts Outlaws have beaten Durham by 7 wickets. We'll take a look at the women's games in a second, but just in terms of the men's table, as a result of that, 4 sides all level on 28 points. It is very tight at the top, separated by net run rate. Durham, Lancashire, the Bears and Northamptonshire all on 28 points. Lancashire have played 11 compared to the Bears 12 and Steelbacks 12. And then just behind the chasing pack are Leicestershire Foxes with 24 and the Nottinghamshire Outlaws with 24. So they're a win away from those qualification positions. Lancashire have got 3 games left. Durham here on Sunday, and then Yorkshire away on Thursday, followed by the Notts Outlaws on the Friday. And there's a bit of pressure on Sunday to get a result now for Lancashire to try and take away some of that kind of sense of having to win at Yorkshire and at Trent Bridge, which they might still have to do. They might have to win all 3.
Absolutely, and you don't want to leave it into other people's hands to get the job done, to get you into finals day. They'll want to win on Sunday to get one over on Durham, who are top of the group, and make sure that they put themselves in control of their own destiny. So it'll be a big task in hand, but they've got the team and they've got the side to do it, and they know that it just takes 1 or 2 big performances to get the result.
As for the women's competition, victories for Surrey, for Durham and for the Bears means that in the women's T20 Blast, Surrey are top, Bears are second, the Blaze are third, Lancashire Thunder are fourth, 25 points. So they are 6 points away from the Blaze, who are in that 3rd position, and then Hampshire down in 5th spot in the women's table. The top 3 qualifies. Probably Thunder, Lightning, probably going to have to win all 3, you reckon?
Absolutely.
And you can do it, Phoebe G. No worries.
100%.
Right, that's your next live cricket then. It's this coming Sunday. We've got the T20 double header here, 11 o'clock for Lancashire Thunder against Durham, and then from 3 o'clock Lancashire Lightning against Durham. Both games available for you on the BBC Sport website and app, and the men's match also on the radio as well as BBC Sounds as well. Thank you, Phoebe.
Thank you very much, Scott.
Right, that's it from us. We'll be back on Sunday. Victory for Yorkshire. They've been Johnny Bairstow of Lancashire tonight. We'll catch you on Sunday.